Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Come on and sit on down because today we're talking about World of Warcraft. Play the montage.
Okay, my mom just canceled my brother's World of Warcraft account.
The intoxicating game called World of Warcraft.
And he's freaking out.
They don't realize how addictive it can be.
Isn't Falstad dead?
The international addiction to an internet game.
You don't want to do that either. You think you do, but you don't.
I now pronounce me and Warcraft together from now until the end of time.
Today we're talking about World of Warcraft. It's gotta be the most well-known MMORPG. Which if you don't know what MMORPG is, you definitely don't get buzzy. Or you're probably young. I wonder what the median age is for MMORPG enjoyers. I feel like that's like an older generation thing. I feel like it's more of like 30 and up.
Everyone trying to relive the glory days.
Yeah, the glory days of the Burning Crusade and the Wrath of the Lich King and all that jazz. People who are like vanilla, I'm like, okay, dude. All right, I want to look. Can we go back to when there was like nothing in the game, please? Everyone's heard of WoW is the moral of the story. Somehow, some way, you've come across it in some kinds of different media, right? Maybe your friend had it. Maybe you saw it in the South Park episode. I don't know. You've definitely heard of World of Warcraft. It's been around for more than 20 years, and it's one of the most popular MMOs ever created. What the what else is there? Guild Wars?
Guild Wars 2! The One Piece MMO that's coming out.
Is there really an MMO One Piece game?
I hope.
There should be, with how vast the world is. My experience with World of Warcraft was I didn't have internet growing up, so I would go over to my friend's house. I had a really shitty Toshiba laptop that still had the CD-ROM, mind you. At that time, it was like right towards the end of Burning Crusade, and I remember all my friends were playing it, and I was like, I don't think I can afford World of Warcraft. Like 15 bucks a month. I went to Walmart and I got like a battle chest thing that I think had the original and Burning Crusade in it or something. Super stoked, and then immediately I was pissed because like immediately Wrath of the Lich King came out after that, and I was thinking, okay, I don't have any, I don't got any money for this. But it was mostly just going over to my friend's house either after school or on weekends. You would just stay up all night. I didn't really like the game. I liked like leveling up with my friends and like getting swords. Every time I'd go over, I'd just start a new character and we would just like, my friend would take Adderall and we would just order pizzas and make another level 60 character or whatever that night. I always liked instances or those dungeons. Now, I don't think I ever did a raid. I liked going, especially in Burning Crusade, they had a lot of cool, like weird demon instances. There was one where it ends with like a dragon fight, and then the enemy has like a cool sword. It's called like Hell Cleaver. And I remember I got that. And I think whenever you have it, you spin when you attack with it or something.
Is it a polearm?
It was like a two-handed sword. I can't remember. It was big. I remember as a kid though, I was like, this is sick. I used to draw it and stuff when I was younger. I was like, this is awesome. Me and my digital sword. Pretty sure I swear to God, I drew like Naruto. Or no, I drew Gaara.
With a sword?
From Naruto with that sword. And the control sand, and he has a badass sword. But with all that being said, it's crazy to see millions of diehard fans who dedicate their lives to this game, still to this day. And not just streamers. Get them out of me. What are you doing, bro? There's like very rabid fans. People full 9-to-5 jobs, come home and they get in with their clans or whatever and they do raids or anything else. It always perplexed me. Even whenever like it was the heyday of like Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King, which I'm pretty sure that was the most popular time. Even then I was like, I just play Dead Rising. You know, like can we fucking do anything else besides this?
You gotta do your daily quest.
Maybe the thing is I never got to experience it with like people and be like have that kind of relationship with the game, but it was always fascinating and still fascinates me to this day. Like when I go into a stream and I see people, like there's streamers who get 20,000 plus viewers, just watching a guy sit there and like, it's just like, you look at the screen, tons of green. I'm trying to see if I can barter with boots with this guy, but he's just not. It's like, what the, like, what? But people, they love it. They love it. They love it. And I think it's time to take a look into World of Warcraft to see what makes the game so important to people. Why is the game so important? Something that brought this idea back to life to me recently was there's some World of Warcraft drama going on. We don't have a lot to talk about, all right? It has to do with OnlyFans, which is a World of Warcraft classic guild that blew up within the streaming community. It was made by one of WoW's biggest streamers, Sodapoppin', and is a roleplay server with 100 other popular streamers in a race to defeat Ragnaros in the 40-man Molten Core raid. And you have awesome creators in it, like Mizkif, XQC, and Tyler One, who I am dubbing the world's greatest gamer.
I like that.
What can't the man do?
Nothing.
At least in the confines of video games. How the f you be like master in League and then you end up like ranking like a high rank in chess?
I think it's Grandmaster in chess.
He's a Grandmaster in chess, like fucking Magnus Carlsen. Do you know what pisses me off more than anything? Can I say something? And you know what? Anybody can take this and they can run with it. I don't give a fuck. I'm putting my opinion out there. Nothing infuriates me more than seeing when I'm on my phone doom scrolling and I get a fucking clip. Magnus showing up late for a tournament. And it's him doing.
There he is. The world champion has arrived. He's running to his chair. At least he has pants on.
He sits down. Shakes the guy's hand. And he like readjusts all of his pieces. It's like, dude, we fucking get it. You're good at chess. Just show up on time and get the job done. Because then the dickhead's sitting there like some fucking Polish guy sitting there and he's just like... The Only Things Guild takes place in a hardcore server, meaning a death in the game resulted in a complete character restart. The absolute tragedy. My word. While this race factor amped up the entertainment value, it was also the cause of intense internet drama. And people love drama. The streamer Pirate Software was kicked from a guild after a controversial play that infuriated the entire internet. During a dire mall run, his streamer and his 5 level 60 friends tried to retreat during a dangerous encounter. 2 members ended up dying, and the others were quick to blame Pirate Software for not using his abilities to slow the enemies. Instead, he buffed himself and ran away as fast as possible, claiming he had no mana left to help them out.
I can help a lot. Yep.
Pirate, why are you walking, bro?
What are you talking about? Why am I walking? Look at my mana.
Savage, but come on, man.
Damn. So are we in the hardcore server or not? There's a bunch of fucking pig-faced dudes that can't get out in time. I say, guess what? Restart your character. Go on eBay and buy a character.
Be Elon Musk.
I think he pays like Taiwanese kids to level up his Diablo 4 account. I don't know. I am totally number 4 in the entire world. That's how Elon sounds on. I can't believe that. I'm number 4 in the entire world. But this sparked a heated debate, many arguing that Pirate Software clearly left him for dead when he could have helped. What the fuck is going on? And of course, Pirate Software doubled down, saying there was nothing he could have done.
He just wants me to sit down, grovel on my knees, and be like, I'm so sorry, Mr. Yamato. It was all my fault, the mage. I won't do it again. I'm so sorry that tank overpulled 2 packs and a boss. Oh man, oh god. Next time I'll save you from the big mean 2 packs and a boss that tank pulled. Are you kidding me, dude?
But the backlash was so intense that he was eventually kicked from the guild entirely.
Pirate got kicked? Oh my god!
Good luck sleeping at night, buddy. In a statement on Twitter, Pirate reveals that he had received thousands of death threats on top of being doxxed all over the internet, including in-game, all for a stupid mistake made in a WoW server. There's almost nothing a person could do to be doxxed online, and death threats. Seeing all this crazy shit happen is kind of what sparked me to want to do this video. I'll be honest, I don't really give a fuck about the drama. I don't care. I really don't care about the video game itself. I'm more interested in people's fascination with the video game. It's not about that. If you came here for that, it's not about that. That's the last putting a bow on that. It's done. Bye-bye. But it's insane to think that a few people dying in a video game could push a group of people to threaten someone's life, which feels stupid to say because at the same time, as I say that out loud, it's happened many times before, and probably even with this game. Sure, you could have a caveat, right? It's a hardcore server. These people's lost over 100 hours of their lives leveling up these characters, so no wonder people feel so passionate about the betrayal, right? And also you're on a streaming thing, and people are tied up with emotional response to their favorite creators and all that kind of stuff. I get it entirely, but still, it's a bit silly. We're in silly town. Put on your silly hat, we're in silly town.
All I know is that if my Minecraft server got deleted because of a streamer, I would dox, send death threats.
If I was on a hardcore server and someone didn't use their magical abilities to slow down the enemy so I could get away and they could help, and I got killed and I had to reset my character on this hardcore server, I would either, one, I would kill myself, or I would dox and I would strangle to death the person that was responsible. Those are the 2 only options. I'd either put a gun in my mouth and blow up my fucking brains, or I would dox the person that did that and I would strangle them with my bare fist. And it led me to think this: if there's people that are taking it this seriously, this event this seriously with World of Warcraft, there's got to be something I'm missing with the hype of this game, with the lore, with everything. There's got to be something I'm missing, and I want to find out what it is. Which leads us into the history of World of Warcraft. I don't know, how me shoot like a spell. like a World of Warcraft spell. I want to be like a what's the big bowl race?
A Tauren.
Yeah, I'm a Tauren.
Getting milked.
I'm getting milked. I'm also one of those aliens.
Draenei.
You know, it's my least favorite World of Warcraft race. If I could be racist in World of Warcraft.
Gnomes.
How'd you know?
Because they're ugly.
They are kind of ugly, aren't they? So fucking tiny. I also hate seeing them run around the map all tiny and shit. Like, get the fuck out of here, freak.
You make a twink, and then the gay community stole that term.
The gay community has taken so many terms, I can't say bear anymore without somebody bringing up gay sex. This video. $5 off. Thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this video, and back to the video. Anyways, the history of World of Warcraft. I figured to understand what this game means to everyone, we should look into the history of its creation and its success, just to get an idea. Maybe you aren't familiar, or maybe you just want to stroll down memory lane, which I like to do from time to time. World of Warcraft was released by Blizzard Entertainment in 2004. That company had some fun stuff happen recently too, right? What was that in the media? I'm sure we'll figure out later.
Overwatch 2.
Oh, it was Overwatch 2. That's what it was. It was a high fantasy game that was made to be much more streamlined and intuitive compared to the other popular MMOs at the time, like EverQuest. Let's just show some footage of EverQuest. Not bad. It was such a huge success that the developers didn't even have the hardware to handle the large influx of players. People were fucking smoking this thing like crack, dude. They were injecting it in their veins like heroin. They couldn't get enough. People were addicted, ladies and gentlemen. People were addicted to WoW. Players were grinding through the game nonstop, with many recounting flunking out of their college classes because of it. And the game has constantly evolved throughout its lifespan and has a total of 10 expansions so far. 10. That's fucking crazy.
They already announced the next 2 expansions.
What were they? Mists of Pandaria 2? Mists of Pandaria 3? So after the BlizzCon, we will be going back to Pandaria twice. Here to do the announcement is Jack Black. She-bow! She-bow!
That'd be sick.
Yeah. Once the content dries up, every 2 years, Blizzard adds new locations, items, playable races, and story elements, and raids to spice up the game. They do that every 2 years. Pretty crazy, and they still are keeping people in the seats. Despite people's obsession with the game, World of Warcraft had a long history of releasing expansions to poor reception. Often people aggressively critique Blizzard for bad expansions only to praise them by the time the next one is released. You come out and people are like, this sucks, fuck this. And by the time the new one comes out, they're like, you can't change it, it's perfect. Which I feel like is probably true with everything. But the cycle usually goes as this. Everyone gets excited about a new expansion. Mists of Pandaria, pandas. It's fun. Expansion drops, you can play a panda and like as a monk or some shit. Everyone complains about the new expansion. The pandas weren't as pog as we expected. People say the last expansion was better, and you circle back to new expansion gets announced. Rinse and repeat, baby, all day, every day. We're gamers.
Bet you there are players right now saying, I miss Mr. Pandaria.
What, I wouldn't go to give back to f***ing Mr. Pandaria. Please let me go back, please. Keep doing all these vanilla re-releases, dude. Give me back the pandas. And with all these expansions ruining the game, players began to get nostalgic for the good old days. They missed the socializing and exploration that came with the World of Warcraft when it was originally released, right? Back then it was magical. Now it's all fucking corporate, man. Players felt the game had lost the magic, which pushed people to develop and run unofficial, private, vanilla servers of the game. As Blizzard refused to accommodate the players yearning for the original World of Warcraft experience, people wanted to go back to the original days, and Blizzard was like, I'm not fucking doing that. So people took it upon themselves to do it.
A BlizzCon, they're like, no one really wants that.
Have you ever thought about adding servers for previous expansions as they were then?
No. And by the way, you don't want to do that either. You think you do, but you don't.
Anything Blizzard does in a like convention style thing is usually there's always something funny. I always like the Diablo mobile announcement. That was like one of my favorite. Is this a out of season April Fool's joke? And I love the response to that is, what, do you guys not have phones?
Hey, just was wondering, is this an out of season April Fool's joke?
Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
Which one of the most popular of these vanilla servers was Nostalrius, which reached over 800,000 accounts at its peak. Almost a million fucking people were in this original vanilla server. And to the surprise of many, Blizzard issued a cease and desist to those keeping the vanilla servers running, forcing it to shut down on April 10th, 2016, which was about a year after its launch. People are just having fun playing the game you make, and then Wizards comes in, they're just like, hey, sir, come here real quick. Shut this thing down right now. Seriously. Hundreds of thousands of signatures were made on a petition to keep it running, but to no avail. Petitions don't, can we just say that right now? Petitions don't fucking work.
What? Change.org doesn't work?
Yeah, are you saying change.org does nothing at all? People mourn the closure of the server, hoarding together for its final moments, and it's actually pretty crazy seeing everybody there. Man, too many names, dude. I have like a panic attack.
The FPS must have been like 2.
My Toshiba laptop could not handle this right here, okay? And it was only a year later at BlizzCon 2017, Blizzard's annual convention, when it was announced that Blizzard was actively working on World of Warcraft Classic, a standalone version of the game that brings players back to the vanilla version of the game.
I am pleased and also a little bit nervous to announce the development of a classic server option for World of Warcraft.
This was an immensely profitable decision, one that brought in millions of dollars and proved to be a success even today.
More people, I think, play classic servers than retail.
More people probably play the classic version than the retail version. Or did they realize that you could be a panda? Do they realize you can be a panda and go experience Kung Fu Panda in World of Warcraft? Are they aware? Also, I want to say this too. Mist of Pandaria probably could have been, it could be, people could love it. I just remember seeing that. I think I stopped playing it at Cataclysm when Cataclysm. I have not played it since then. I just kind of see stuff from here and there. Have not kept up with it. Don't know if it's good. I just remember seeing Mist of Pandaria and being like, that looks really gay. That was the first thing I said. I was being offensive. I said, okay, that looks gay. It was fucking, I think it came out at the same time like a Kung Fu Panda movie came out. I thought it was a sponsored meme or something like that. I don't know. Sue me. There's not always rainbows in World of Warcraft, right? I mean, we could talk about some of the horror stories in this community. Also, I like how we listed one thing. Did you feel like that was a comprehensive history? I hope so. Do we talk about Leroy Jenkins in this?
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
We didn't even talk about, in the history of World of Warcraft, we never even brought up Leroy Jenkins.
So let's... Leroy Jenkins!
Well, if you want more of that, I'm sure there's channels out there that'll give it to you. Because we just want to get into the dark side of World of Warcraft, apparently, because we're little fucking heathen goblins. On r/WoW, which stands for World of Warcraft, the post says, what's your biggest guild scandal story you know of, or have been involved in? And someone said, so many. The first one here says, guild member, instead of just going, hey, this isn't really working out for me anymore, put thanks for having me for 2+ years, guild quitting. He faked their own death, and then 3 months later logged in to G-quit all their tunes and realm transfer. I read that as if, like, I thought I was like reading Latin after a while. What the f does G quit all their tunes mean?
Tunes are characters, so he probably had multiple characters in the guild, and so he logged in real quickly, G quit, so guild quit, and then realm transferred them off completely.
Why does that, why did he just do that to begin with?
It was probably didn't want to hurt their feelings.
Oh, he did. So he did it because he's like, oh, if they do that, they're gonna think I don't like them anymore.
Yeah, he probably also stole a bunch of shit in the guild too.
We might not have the full story here. Okay, I never was in a guild. I just play with my friends online. I didn't know the guilds were such a big deal.
I play by myself and just raid.
You just raid by yourself?
And then I was a 14, so I never talk and vent. So I just type everything because I was scared.
You were afraid to speak on. I guess I could see that too. I never had a game mic. I feel like I'd just be in the room with them and you talk that. You know what I mean?
I used to be a clicker. That's a sin, a cardinal sin in WoW. You're never supposed to click. But I was a hunter, so I just had to do a rotation.
I don't know what the f you're saying. Like, I don't know what clicker means.
Clicking is where you have your abilities on the bar, is where you take your mouse and go over and click the...
Oh.
Instead of clicking 1, 2, 3, or A, B, or whatever.
Yeah. I do that still to level up in League, and people freak out about that. I'm not keyboard savvy, so I'm always like, eh. And I can't multitask it. I don't know. I'm a fucking idiot. Another one says, a guild run by a wife and husband. Wife drove 2 hours to have an affair with another raider in the guild. Husband found out, lost his shit, drove 2 hours to try and fight the guy, but got arrested during the confrontation. If you're wondering, neither the marriage nor the guild survived.
We had that too. We had a guild that also had like a husband and wife couple, and it really affected the rating when the wife was pregnant and had to go into labor. She was our healer.
Well, it's gonna happen. You know, it's like, are we raiding or are we having a kid? Like, can we choose? What are we doing here? The amount of crazy interactions guilds probably have isn't like the stories. To be like a fly on the wall in some like crazy, it's a WoW tavern and hear some of that stuff. Another post says, old raid leader played clear favorites with a new tank, cheated on his wife with the new tank, and then left his wife for the new tank. Then he went on Jeopardy and lost because he's a fucking loser. The idea of an affair happening in World of Warcraft is absurd. You played really well today. You know, if you want these boots, you can have them. It's absurd. It has to be the least sexy environment ever, right?
Well, when your mind sees those pixels on screen, your brain starts.
How much of that do you think too is like them being enthralled with like the fantasy of the game, but they look at the game as an escape, and then there's someone in the game that they like or do it like there's no lines of reality anymore.
Also, well, I mean, if you're an adult, it makes sense. I remember I was like 8 or 10. I played this game called Habba Hotel. Anyways, there was a character that was a girl character, and I fell in love. I didn't even know if they were a real woman.
It can happen. I will say this. I have a buddy named Aaron. They've been married. They've been together forever. They've been married and have 2 wonderful kids now. So love can happen anywhere, which I guess if you're just casually conversating with somebody, anything can lead to whatever. But if you're already married and then like an affair starts, it's so much different than people finding love. We talked about the community a little bit and some of the horrifying stuff that happens in guilds, but let's talk about some of the horrifying stories that happen in World of Warcraft. In 2006, a guild officer named Fayin died from a stroke, and out of respect for their fallen guild member, his guildmates and friends decided to hold a funeral in Winter Spring to say their goodbyes. As wholesome as this may seem, things took a dark turn when they decided to open the invitation to Alliance factions as well. The Guild Serenity now caught wind of this and decided to enact a brutal raid on the funeral, leading to a massacre of attendees who were simply there to mourn their dead friend. So this is in the game.
It's the Red Wedding.
It's the Red Wedding of World of Warcraft. This frame rate.
It was a tragic day. We were mourning.
I like that. I think someone stepped at their desk by their keyboard and they're like, no! No! It is f***ed up that the guy died in real life and it was like them getting together from all these people from probably different parts of the world. And they're just like, this is nice. Some guy from the Alliance is just like, we're gonna fucking kill all of them. Last year, a World of Warcraft YouTuber was forced to stop making YouTube content over death threats. Mad Skills HC, a YouTuber that focuses his channel around content where he entered hardcore WoW servers to kill bot players. This is something that Blizzard has been trying to fight off for a long time via mass bans. But this man decided to take it into his own hands.
A little vigilante.
He's like the Batman of World of Warcraft there. These bots are created by players that are farming gold to sell it later. Because this is a hardcore server, dead bots lose all the gold they've accumulated, which is a huge setback for these gold farmers. This has resulted in the YouTuber catching a wave of death threats. Some emails showed screenshots from Discord channels in Taiwan and Russia, where they detailed how they were going to cut off his fingers and feed them to his family. I am going to fucking cut off your fingers and feed it to your dog! After initially claiming his channel could no longer continue, it seems that he has continued to make bot hunting content. So perhaps he got over his fear of the bot mafia doing him any harm.
So he didn't shut down his channel.
Yeah, what the fuck? What? Alright, well, I thought he did. Well, there you go. You know, Russian bot farmers for gold. Is there a lot of money to be made in World of Warcraft?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Like, could it be a full-time... Could you selling shit in World of Warcraft be a full-time job?
Probably. You could be a gold farmer, because there's websites that people sell gold. You can also be a level up characters. Well, I used to follow this guy called Wow Hobbs, and people would pay him to run through dungeons to level up.
All right. We also got another post of what is the craziest WoW ruined my life story you've ever heard. And someone said, my best friend had moved west to a major city and was enjoying it after growing up in small towns. And he suggested he come out here and find work too now that he just graduated high school. He was always diligent, sharp, funny, and clean guy. He worked part-time all through high school and saved up to upwards $20,000. He moved into my city and I got him a place to live with my other friend who rented a home and a house. I showed him WoW when he came. He was instantly hooked. He was supposed to find work, but 3 to 4 months in, and he was still just playing WoW, smoking pot and drinking. Eventually, I started noticing big shifts in him. He stopped answering calls. My other friend would say he wouldn't see him during the day and just hear him up all night. Weeks passed and I'd see him online, but he'd barely even respond to me there. I kept asking to hang out and he'd ignore me, which really weirded me out. I finally went to the house to confront him and see what was going on, and I was shocked. His room was literally piled with garbage, both bagged and strewn. His desk and bed were covered with black garbage bags and beer cans, but the saddest part was a little nest he made for himself on the hardwood floor where he had moved his computer and would lay, play, and sleep, only leaving to smoke and bio, meaning shit and piss. He pissed and shit. I talked to him. He was out of money. I racked up his credit card completely and was behind on rent paying my friend. There was nothing I could do. I called his mom. They drove 14 hours and came and picked him up, cleaned out his room, and took him back home. He rehabilitated, but was never the same. He was never happy again and struggled with addiction like I never knew prior. He's doing a lot better now. He moved out to a farm and lives with minimal tech and helps ranchers in the area for work. But I always remember that very dark time. Jesus Christ. This guy started playing World of Warcraft. It got so severe that he had to adopt an Amish lifestyle to get him out. Here's the thing too, with a lot of WoW players, I've seen this. I had a buddy who lived basically in his grandma's basement and just perpetually played games all day, like World of Warcraft and all that stuff too. The thing that stuck out to me in this is when he said the guy just stopped talking to him. I had a buddy who did that too, and I don't know why. Just one of those things. I think you just get lost in the sauce. Another ruin my life post here was my friend's family and coworkers all played WoW. In 2005, my brother started dating a girl from work, and a year later, they were married. We got her sucked into the game too. They were reasonably happy until several years later, he got a job working on the road. It paid really well, and they needed the money because they got a little over their heads with the mortgage, as the majority of people do. She stayed home with the kids, playing WoW all day while he was on the road. She transferred servers with her progression guild. She spammed Battle.net looking for people to pick up groups, some empty raid slots, but when any of her IRL friends and her family offered, she'd balk and go about what a dick the guild leader was and how he'd suck the fun out of it for us. We wondered what the f she saw in this guild that she couldn't get any other progression guild. We thought she just didn't like us anymore. That is until she packed her shit and moved to the other side of the country to live with her f***ing guild leader she met on the internet, who lived at home with his parents, who didn't have a job. She told him my brother was a violent, abusive thug that hit her and the kids. God damn! Which isn't true at all. Like I had to paraphrase that, which that did not happen.
Liar, liar.
Liar, 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 pants on fire. She'd been trying to hide her online affair from her friends and family by convincing us raiding with her guild would suck. They were divorced a few months later. WoW destroyed their marriage. And luckily, as always, we get to end on a very peachy, upbeat story. Gamer couple locks children in room to gain more. A husband and wife were sent to prison for neglecting their two young daughters, ages 5 and 6. They were found with horribly damaged teeth, covered in dirt, and visibly malnourished. Great parents. Lester and Petra Huffmeyer, both 41 years old, are both gamers absolutely obsessed with World of Warcraft. WoW community, we're looking at you right now. They lived inside their mobile home and were unemployed, spending every waking hour playing the game. In order to focus on playing the game, the couple had locked their daughters inside their room for years in order to play uninterrupted. When their living conditions were investigated, it was discovered that the home was covered in mold and cobwebs, stacks of trash, debris, and even feces. Strangely enough, police also discovered a pile of used condoms under a stuffed teddy bear. They were charged with child abuse, false imprisonment, and contributing to delinquency of a minor. Lester was sentenced to 5 years, and Petra was sentenced to 3 years and 4 months. God damn. What is that even a WoW community thing? That's just a fucking monster. You know, World of Warcraft is, people love it. We've seen some things here. There was so much shit that we found online that maybe we'll make another video someday. And they're like, the video is not about Blizzard, it's just about World of Warcraft. I mean, Blizzard itself has its own beautiful can of worms that we could dive into as well someday. It was something that we looked into, is just some of the horror stories of, I guess, just the kind of crazy people that play these games. And also, once again, it's with everything. It's not just World of Warcraft. I'm not just saying that World of Warcraft fans are gross little gremlins. I'm saying everybody's gross little gremlins. Every subsect, every internet community, every gamer community has their own little hodgepodge of misfits, right? And it's just fun to look in on it sometimes. World of Warcraft, I cannot believe how popular it still is today. And if we find some more funny stuff, which there was, I mean, so much stuff, maybe we'll make another one and keep going over it, because this was a nice little eye opener. So until next time, it's just a game. Don't dox people. Don't DDoS people. Just play the game. That's all I have to say. Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Coming and sitting down, because today we are talking about Pokemon cards. You know, we have done a video on trading card games and the rise of collectors, and you know, we talked about the game, but over the last couple years, trading card games have blown up in popularity. Not that they were ever really unpopular, but it's possible that this may not be a good thing. I mean, sure, we all want games we enjoy to be popular, and after all, it means more people play with and money to put back into improving the experience, right? Well, sadly, this couldn't be farther from the truth, especially for what we're going to focus on today. Pokemon cards. It seems like the wrong groups of people have found their way into the community, and it's causing a lot of problems. Because of this, the game has gone from an exciting child's activity to all-out war. So let's talk about the dark side of collecting Pokemon cards. Never thought I would say that before in my life, huh? Jesus Christ. But first, we have to ask ourselves, what exactly is the problem? Which, if you haven't been on any social media, you may have never seen it, but chances are you've seen people fighting in Targets. You've seen mostly just a lot of physical violence, people running through stores to grab stocks. It's an all-out blood war right now, ladies and gentlemen. Ever since the pandemic, the value of rare and vintage Pokemon cards has gotten astronomically high, unbelievably high. And the fact that mainstream creators were joining in only added fuel to the fire, especially considering people were holed up inside their homes with stimulus checks to spend on frivolous things. Twitch donations. Remember the Among Us craze? A lot of no-nos back then. DoorDash. I was a DoorDash guy. I remember I kept getting the same guy too, and I was just like, I feel like at this point I should just like text him. Just be like, dude, just give me your number. This essentially turned the card into stock investments. And with this became the rapid growth of Pokemon scalpers, people who buy products with the explicit goal of selling them on secondary markets for a higher price. This can make enjoying the hobby difficult for a player who just wants to play the game. Not only does it now become more difficult to buy new packs and box sets, but some become desperate enough to buy it for raised price online because they become unavailable, thus justifying scalpers to continue scalping. An evil system. You go through, you see people dead sprinting through Target, all the stocks is out just because people are hoarding Pokemon cards like fucking gold, and then they raise the prices. There's probably a studio apartment in Burbank, California just stacked with Pokemon cards just because that's the guy scalping cards online, dude. It disgusts me. Even recently, LEGO announced that official Pokemon sets are coming in 2026, and people are already speculating that it'll be an absolute bloodbath to acquire them in stores. And people seem to forget that these products have a massive child audience. If adults can't get their hands on these products, what chance do the children have? Think of the children. Who gives a if the child can't have it, dude? You know, I say good. If anything, if a child can't get it, they're like, yeah, I was going to get into it, but every adult around me was buying them, so I thought, this is cringe, and I didn't get it. That's what I think.
It's a millennials game. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. You don't even know who the f that is, dude. But especially when scalpers are programming bots to buy new products online seconds after they drop. It's like a streetwear scalpers or something like that, you know?
I did that with Magic cards on eBay.
Did you?
I had a little scalping bot, yeah.
Did it work well?
I bought like Shocklands for pretty cheap.
Nice. This animosity towards Pokemon scalpers is starting to reach new heights, and many fear that the hoops people must jump through to get their hands on new cards is deferring potential players from joining the TCG community. Trading card game. In case someone's like, what is that, Hunter? And if you want to know how bad things have gotten, look no further than the 2025 Costco Wars. Costco recently began selling Pokemon cards at marked down price, and early on, things turned into an absolute shit show. In a recent viral clip, you can see a horde of people lined up behind a pallet of boxes for 151 Blooming Waters Premium Collection packs. What? This box set contains various packs with the original 151 Pokemon, which are very high quality and valuable. Costco had to know that this was going to be a bloodbath, dude. I think the CEO was just like, good. Yes, rats in a maze. As soon as the pallet jack is pulled out by a Costco employee, the organized line quickly turns into an all-out frenzy as people grab multiple boxes and stuff them into their carts. Some customers are pushed to the floor as passing customers lunge at them to grab boxes out of their hands. It's like the scene in Jingle All the Way. Also, you know, performative to bring it out on a pallet jack. Here I go. Hope nobody grabs it. Why make such a spectacle of it? Costco runs on a schedule. It's got to be 2 p.m. That's when the new trading card product goes out, okay? In another video, you can see an older man wrap himself around another customer to wrestle a box out of his hands, only to be violently elbowed in the face, but somehow the man still continues holding on for dear life. He's like, no! Imagine getting your face caved in. You're just like, Charizard. Charizard, help me now! Eventually, police had to be called to break up the giant brawl that ensued, but no arrests were made. Everyone's just like, to the victor goes the spoils, right, boys? Look at all these dogs with their tails tucked between their legs. Go on home, boys. This one's for me. But because of these encounters going viral online, Costco acted quickly by enforcing a purchase limit of 2 boxes per customer. Cowards. They also started having employees and security nearby the products at all times to stop people from going crazy. I like how there has to be a guy with like a baton. He's just like, don't make me do this. Like threatening violence to a person. Hey, it's 2! It's like a little kid has 3 boxes. It's 2. Put it back. It got so bad that Costco employees were tasked with preloading shopping carts with the highest limit box sets allowed for purchase in order to prevent customers from throwing hands. There's like, it's already in there. Just walk to the checkout. Just take it and walk. The value you're getting on these boxes, it cannot be worth it. It cannot be worth it to have that much civil unrest. What are the Japanese doing to prevent this? All right. All these are American solutions. What are the Japanese doing to fix this? I mean, regardless of what rules are put into place, people are still getting in fights all around the world over their precious Pokemon cards. And this wasn't the first time that stores had to enforce new rules to prevent people from getting hurt by trading cards. It happened back in 2021 when Target had to temporarily put a stop to selling of trading cards after an intense fight broke out in the parking lot in Wisconsin. I don't know why. Almost every unruly video, it's always in a Target, which points Walmart. Even Walmart, they're just like, there's a whole other breed of thing going on here. It's like watching Dumbledore drink that thing. He's like, oh. He's like, no, I don't want to. That's what it's like having a Walmart be like, come here, buy these cards. Actually, I think Walmart stopped doing it too, though, because of the same reason.
A lot of shoplifting.
People at Walmart are like, oh, I don't care, just take it. What is it? I think the only thing they care about is guns and liquor. You put the captain back. You can take the Pokemon. I don't know what the hell that Japanese shit is. Take it. I will say that became a thing too. I remember in the past, people would like lift up Walmart shelves because stuff had fallen back behind it. So it's just like in dust and dead debris and bugs. I'm like, oh, cool. It's like a set that came out 6 years ago or something. One man purchased some cards only to be jumped by 4 other people that wanted to steal them from him. The man was assaulted by an entire group until he pulled out a gun, at which they fled the scene. The man who assaulted him were found and arrested on charges of battery, disorderly conduct, and strangulation. I like how that's not a part of like the battery assault or anything. It's just like, and you choked him. What the hell is this? I also love the signs that they put up. Yeah, sorry, because the world, everyone are apes in the world, we can't give you Japanese trading cards. Sorry about that. And during that same year, Walmart encountered the same problem. Because of fights breaking out between customers, they had to post signs announcing that they would be suspended due to, quote, inappropriate customer behavior and increased demand. But Costco isn't the only place that's seeing a recent uptick in Pokemon-fueled chaos. Let's take a look at the Pokemon vending machines. I don't know why. Right now, already in the video, we've talked about that since the pandemic, we're 5 years deep into Pokemon chaos, and they're just like, why don't we just make machines we just put around for people to get pissed off at and punch? It's made of metal and glass. I'm sure that's gonna be fine. Pokemon vending machines, cool!
But look at them, they're cute.
Oh my god, it is kawaii. Did Ash Ketchum or Professor Oak help design this? Misty didn't do shit. Or that creep Brock. Closing his eyes, he's like, I see you. Hello, princess. Stores around the world have started installing vending machines that exclusively sell Pokemon packs, elite trainer boxes, sets, and more. If that means anything to you. Doesn't to me. Some believe that these can prevent unnecessary conflict compared to having piles of loose cards on shelves. However, scalpers always find a way. Scalpers would repeatedly visit these machines and clean out the entire stock. And in one instance, a woman spent over $1,000 emptying the vending machine despite kids waiting in line behind her to purchase just a single pack. She's like, I'm sorry. And the problem was so bad that it eventually became acceptable to film and shame people for doing this, which I do think that's nice. If you see somebody unloading an entire vending machine, because also even if it was food, I would do the same thing. I'd be like, are you kidding me? This is crazy. Anybody unloading a vending machine, I'm like, really? And of course, what would a Pokemon restock be without 2 adults getting into a heated altercation? In the San Francisco Bay Area, a man had been sitting in his car all morning till the 10 a.m. restock of the Pokemon vending machine in his local grocery store. When he entered the store, he saw that someone was already using the machine. And by God, this angered him. Angered by this, he starts yelling about him waiting in his car was the same as him waiting in line. That doesn't make sense. I was outside, dude. He then pushes the man out of the way before proceeding to sprawl his arms and legs out to stop him from buying anything else. It is easily, I think, a great contender for Cringe Clip of the Year, which I do think that we should maybe start cataloging. Cringe Clip nominee of the year. And the cringiest clip goes to man sprawling out over Pokemon vending machine. Just want to put this out there that the aggressor here is an Eagles fan. Philadelphia Eagles. Kill yourself. Eventually, staff had to intervene and tell him to calm down. And after failing to do so, he was ultimately arrested. And the victim of this altercation noted that the man started pretending to be hurt when the cops arrived, despite no punches or anything physical being thrown.
I hate people like that.
Well, I love it when it's old women. My favorite thing when they're like, ow, ow! And it's on camera, they're like, what are you doing? You talking about that style? It's like my favorite. If I was an old cranky bitch, I'd do the exact same thing. I'd be like, you hit my head, I'm bleeding. Well, no matter what wrongs me, it could be something super small. I'm dropping to the ground. I'm telling everybody that you hit me. That's what I'm doing. I might even start just incorporating that into my own life. But as confrontations like this keep happening more and more frequently, these stores were also pushed to enforce purchase limits on these vending machines. Not only is loitering no longer allowed near these machines, but machines began putting pauses on purchasing their available inventory throughout the day to push scalpers to get impatient and give up. The guy who's sitting out in his car for 7 hours, you think he's not gonna just be like, oh wait. And at Target, they're I'm just gonna go to Pizza Hut because there's a Pizza Hut in Target. I'm getting tired, I'm gonna go to Starbucks in Target. If you watched our last video about trading card game community, you may be convinced that it's exclusively composed of horrendous people, but that's not always the case. Coop's Collection is a content creator that streams himself running a Pokemon card vendor. In a recent video, a customer approached him at a convention and hands him a binder filled with various holographic Pokemon cards and encourages to give it to someone for free. Later, a young boy approached the vendor with his father. His father explains that he's new to collecting and was curious about it, so Coop surprised him by giving him the binder.
Aww. Definitely didn't have a camera set up.
I see everything now and I'm just like, yeah, right. Oh yeah, convenient, dude. I want to believe, but my putrid, small, fat heart won't let me have anything nice. Like, hand it to him and it's just like, all right, give it back. Get the f away from it! That's in my mind. That's what happens. All scalpers are scum.
This guy's got a heart of gold.
This guy does have a heart of gold. I'm gonna choose to believe that he has a heart of gold. Please have a heart of gold. Anyways, oh yeah, I forgot there's more to this story about this stupid thing. The stranger next to him even joins in by handing him one of his most valuable graded cards. Whatever, who gives a fuck? The kid got some free cards. He's gonna get rid of them as soon as he finds out what pussy is. But we can also talk about how the Pokemon community saved a dying puppy. Is this video wholesome progress now? This feels... In 2021, an 8-year-old child from Virginia named Bryson discovered that his 4-month-old black lab puppy named Bruce was diagnosed with parvo, which is like puppy cancer. Parvo is a contagious virus that, if left untreated, has an incredibly high mortality rate in puppers. And from that day, they brought Bruce home. The two of them were inseparable. He was incredibly distraught to see that Bruce was losing lots of weight. And this feeling became worse when he realized that his family could not afford the thousands of dollars it would take to treat the dog. In tears, he told his mom this, and I quote, this is the direct quote.
I don't want Bruce to die. I'm gonna pray that he don't die.
What is that quote?
This is a hard-hitting journalism people come to the story for.
I'm gonna pray that he don't die.
Bruce, don't go. Take off your angel wings, Bruce. Don't fly away yet. But soon after, the little boy decided to take action. He came home from school with paper advertisements he made for a Pokemon yard sale. He hoped he could sell his Pokemon collection, which his mom referred to as his most prized possession, to raise enough money for the treatment.
That is so chased by a highway.
Literally by a highway, like, please stop so my dog doesn't fly to heaven. He don't die. Dog, he don't die. I hate that this is tugging on my heartstrings too. I'm like, I feel so bad for the kid. Some of his neighbors paid him a visit and purchased some cards. Like, his neighbors are just like, what is it? I can give you $3, kid. All right. Say thank you. That's not enough to clip his wings so he doesn't fly to heaven. We're like, all right. But he was not making much money early on. When it was discovered why he was trying to raise money, the news started to spread throughout town. His mother started advertising the stand on Facebook as well, which brought tons of new people over. Friends then helped her set up a GoFundMe page, which quickly raised over $28,000. Touched by Bryson's willingness to give up his favorite things in order to save his dog, people started donating their own Pokemon collections to help him free of charge so he could keep it going. I mean, that's just...
So he scammed people.
That's where my mind goes immediately. My dog's couldn't look healthier. Look how skinny he is. He just has flanged ribs. It's like really normal in puppies. You can see his bone. I don't want him to leave. He's like, the dad's just like, Fargo. He's like trying to lose out. Pargo. And at one point, employees working for Pokemon Co. even sent him rare packs over hearing about the story. Awesome. And in the end, Bruce was able to be treated and is in good health. Leftover money was used to help several other families who struggled to afford health care for their dogs. Because this diseased dog ridden town, dude. You know, my dog's died. It's like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, the vet in town are like, I don't know why they keep this. There must be something in the water for these pups. I like how Pokemon Co. is just like, what happened? Here's 2 packs. Well, you couldn't pay for the surgery. Like, would it not have been cool if Pokemon stepped in and they were like, we'll pay for the dog surgery? All right, though, enough positivity. That was heartwarming as shit. Let's get back to the muck and talk about how Pokemon collecting can go horribly, horribly wrong. Starting with some particularly bleak Reddit post, because, you know, we have to just bring down the mood a little bit, right? All filtered through, Nick, play the character of the person making the Reddit post.
My husband has racked up a lot of debt. Nearly 100,000 buying Pokemon cards.
$100,000 in debt from Pokemon cards? What?
70K of it was paid off, but since then he's racked up another 27K since December.
Imagine plowing through 70,000 in debt when he's like,
I gotta talk to you about something. We got 27,000 more to pay off.
thank God you're so good at sex. You're literally perfect in every other way except the Pokemon cards.
I know nothing about these cards or industry.
I know nothing about these cards. It's just all Japanese. I don't know what it is.
But I need a way for him to not have the ability to buy anymore. How can I get rid of what he already has? What can I do to physically stop him from buying any more?
I would say, like, the obvious salute, leave. Leave this person. This is the segment is now me just responding to the Reddit post. I'm gonna give you the solution. Right answers only. Leave this person. If you have to physically say, how can I physically stop him? Because then you're gonna people be like, put cyanide in his drink.
Are there any Pokemon forums I could join where I name him and tell him not to sell him anymore?
I like how the idea was like, who are you? My name is Brock. Dude, we can't. Yeah, you got cut off, dude. You're cut off. I'm sorry.
That was 11 days ago.
That post was 11 days ago, the 100th.
Ripping a single pack triggered my gambling addiction. A friend of mine collects Pokemon cards. He let me rip one. I got hooked instantly. I started buying packs and collecting cards. Told myself it wasn't gambling. It was okay because I was collecting something of value. I started with just a few packs here and there, but quickly turned into booster boxes and elite trainer boxes. I was spending around €300 a week.
I can see the addiction aspect of it. There's something very satisfying of opening a Kraken packs, as they say. That's what they say in the TCG community, Kraken. It is like gambling addiction. Because I think it's the same thing as people who are addicted to slots. All the numbers, or like the sounds and all that stuff. Even just the crinkling of the packaging and the hopeful opportunity that there's something in there. I've said this before on our Magic channel. If you're going to get into actually collecting, you don't have to buy packs. Just buy the singles. Even if you're like, oh, I don't know, this card's $200. I feel so weird, $200. And then you find out that you just spent $2,000 trying to open it in packs. Just pick up the card that you like, save up for the card that you want, and just hold it in your collection, and then let it accrue value that way. Hunter's hack.
I tried selling the valuable cards I pulled to fund new packs, but I lost a lot of money doing this. Things spiraled out of control. Today, I opened all the Prismatic Evolution booster packs that I ordered 80 plus, but got nothing. I found myself chasing my losses in online casinos. I lost over €1,000 in an hour. That's when it hit me. I had relapsed badly without even realizing it. I seriously need help to stay away from gambling, or I think it's going to ruin my life completely. I'm 25 now, and I really don't want to relapse again.
I like how much you're taking the piss out of a guy who's like genuinely asking for help. Like it's like an actual tragic story. You need to go to gambling addiction therapy, whatever. Or go to Vegas and try to hit it big. Every great gambler doesn't stop. You're always one bet away from changing it all around.
Open up some more prismatic packs. You might open the God
Prismatic packs, start to get open a couple more credit cards. You know, it's good to have debt.
My 5-year-old son just got scammed at a library Pokemon card event. So my wife took my son to a Pokemon card event at the local library. After work, I see him, and he's so incredibly excited at all of the new cards he traded for.
That's nice.
My heart sank when I saw Rainbow Charizard and Gold Ho-Hos. They were all fake.
They were all fake! Son, you got fleeced!
The older kids completely cleaned him out. He had like 30 EX or VV star cards, and they're all gone, replaced by a bunch of fakes. It's not even about the money. They were the very first cards that we pulled together.
Oh, that's a sad way to end it. You know what, dude? These are the learning moments, dude. In life, you get burned.
That happened with me with Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, definitely. Same. Yeah, the amount of fake Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards I didn't give a shit, though. I was like, sick. Like, I don't think I really understood. I'm like, this is worth money. I think I was just more like, yeah, Obelisk the Tormentor. I got the oh, it's a raw Slifer, my boy Obelisk. You're just like, all right, sleeve him up. I remember one time I think I cried in school trying to trade with a guy. And he's like, all your stuff is fake. I'm like, no, I want this Buster Blader. All right, who wouldn't want that? I cried. I was like, please. I was young. I was like 17, 18. So I was a bit of a... Dude, I'm kidding. All right, let's Reddit post. Tired of these shitty little goblins crying on, you know, guess what, dude? Shit happens, all right? Oh, look at my boy. Those are the first packs he opened. I think it's gonna be all right. How about you go play catch with him? How does that sound? No, open more packs. Let's talk about the Melbourne card theft crisis. Store owners across Melbourne are living in fear after a string of robberies early this year, targeting various collectible shops. In a recent particularly gruesome display, a store called Aussie Collectibles was broken into, which can be seen on released surveillance video. In the chaos, the robbers made out with over $100,000 worth of Pokemon cards. That's insane to just think. It also feels weird to just be like, I'm gonna leave this here. Put it in a vault, dude. Treat the shit like Hellsberg diamonds or something. Goddamn. The same occurred over at Blacklist Cards weeks prior, which lost over $20,000 in Pokemon cards after only being open for about a month. That's a bummer. Because of this, the owner is unsure if he should keep the place running. No. Hunter tip. No. One card store owner admits that they've had trouble sleeping at night, often waking up in a panic to go check and see if security cameras were triggered overnight. Other stores have considered closing up shop to lay low or perhaps just halt the sale of Pokemon cards altogether. There have been 16 card store robberies within the past 8 months, and it is believed that these recent events are all connected in the same way. For now, investigations are still ongoing. 16 in 8 months is crazy. Like, I would not leave them in the glass case. I couldn't. It would make me disgusted to be like, somebody can just throw a rock through the window and take everything. I'd have a big ass security guard sleeping in there. There's like a tiny bed. He sleeps in the middle room, whatever, and you have to like tiptoe in. You wake him up and he has like a giant ogre club. That's what I would do. Breaks all the cases, ruins everything. At least nothing got stolen. While terrifying, at least these robbers occurred when innocent people were out of the store, right? Some people, however, are not as lucky. Let's talk about the $70,000 Pokemon card heist. A card shop in Osaka, Japan. We've been there. Sorry, I just got excited. Was hit by a group of thieves dressed in dark shirts and sunglasses who hoped to steal some valuable Pokemon cards. They had broken into the store at 3:30 a.m. The demonic witching hour. Surprised to see that 2 employees were still closing up for the night. In response, the thieves threatened them with knives as they tied them up. While some people are well versed in Pokemon TCG and know exactly what constitutes a valuable card, others are absolutely clueless and just see Pokemon card collecting as like a payday. The thieves began a frantic discussion with the tied up employees, asking for advice on what cards they should steal to make the most amount of money. Scared for their lives, they both started helping them pick the best cards. Pick the worst ones! Okay, you got Eevee. They ended up leaving the store with $70,000 worth in valuable cards, as well as the employees' phones and wallets. Oh, shit. Luckily, nobody was injured. Sadly, an investigation has not yet led to any arrest. I like how you can just go into a Japanese store or like any store and just be like, I'm just gonna rob this. On the topic of Pokemon robberies, you'd be surprised to find out that these thefts are peanuts compared to one of the most notable Pokemon heists. Let's talk about the biggest Pokemon robbery of all time. Photos had surfaced online alleging that one or more employees involved in printing cards for the Pokemon Company may be stealing rare Fusion Strike cards off a line and selling them to local card stores to make massive profit. The image showcased a ludicrous amount of incredible valuable cards. Yeah, I know. There's some people who are like this. Oh, sorry, fellas. Close your gobs and listen up. Trading Card World, one of the local stores that the thief was attempting to sell to, refused to do business with him, assuming that anyone with a collection like this either stealing them or printing counterfeits. In an attempt to prove their legitimacy, the thief admitted to working for a Pokemon card printing company, and the shop worker immediately reported him to the Pokemon Company. A little big bundle of oopsie daisy there. An investigation began and it was quickly discovered who the thief was. Supposedly, the man was put into police custody soon after, but much of the information regarding the case has been confidential. Many people dissecting the image and its contents estimated that the man could have very likely made off with over $300,000 if he had just been patient and sold the cars slowly over time. Why would we do that? Get that money now. It's called quick cash. Which, to anyone that is looking at Pokemon cards as a way to make a pretty penny, just know that it's no different from buying stocks or gambling, except it's probably way worse and not as profitable. Honestly, I feel like if you have a good run, you can make more gambling. If you play the stock market, also, by the way, you have to play that for your whole life. You just have to put money into it and just be like, I'm not even even gonna look at it. So it's not like you're just like, ooh, my returns every week. That's not how the stock market works, but there's always a risk. So don't fall for the hype and end up getting burned. Although it's easy to relate to the idea of wanting to make a quick payday, there's something so unsettling about using a family-friendly card game to do it. It just feels odd. It feels even more manipulative than a guy like doing card tricks on the street or like scamming people out of like street games, you know? If you're rushing to stores and clearing out entire stocks to the point where children can't even enjoy buying a new pack here and there, you know you've lost the plot. You know that you're kind of a piece of shit. If you are running in a Target to get stocks of cards, reevaluate. Unless it's Magic, which dragons... We're going back to Tarkir playing soon. And let me tell you, it's going to be very crazy. Also, we have the Meaty Magic channel that has a lot of very funny things. All right, well, that's our video for today. Have fun collecting Pokemon cards and get your boxing gloves ready. Good luck out there, friends. We'll see you next time.
Oh my God! Oh my!
Hello. You kill them all, man.
It's the game! It sucks playing the shit! I'm fucking addicted, so I can't quit!
Man, it doesn't matter if she's 15. I like young girls. I like them 15, 14, 16. I like them real young. All the girls in the 20s, I'm cool with them, girl.
Oh my God! You subhuman! You drink! No one cares about bearing you cancer pigs!
Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Come on in and sit on down because today we're talking about one of the worst games to ever grace this planet. At least that's what people say. Dude, I still play it. We're talking about League of Legends. If you haven't heard of League, I mean, I don't know what kind of rock you've been under, but it's one of the biggest games on the planet. Still, League is, I would say, among online games, I think is regarded as the worst, like, most toxic, worst game. Every time I've ever streamed League on Twitch, people always come in and they're always like,
Why are you playing this? Why? Oh, he plays League? Ew.
and they're playing like Genshin Impact or some shit.
I need
Like,
some
go
Max
fuck
Win.
yourself. Are you kidding me? League is a bad game, but to really know why it's a bad game or why it's one of the most toxic games, you first have to understand the game. One of the reasons it's one of the most toxic and one of the worst games of all time is because it's a team-based game. And everyone has a role in this game. It goes top, middle, bottom, and jungle. ADC and support. In the game, you have an objective where you have to protect your lane. You have to push the lane, inevitably getting to a base that you explode. Not a terrorist act, just that's the objective of the game. But if you start losing your lane, people like to do a thing called griefing, raging, right? All kinds of things that are a result of never taking full accountability for themselves and blaming other people. Once again, that's just the online way. And the problem too with League is that the games typically take 35 to 45 minutes. I've been in a League game that was an hour and 10 minutes long. That was called hell. That was called pack it up. It's kind of, you know, that's the end of your night kind of game. And especially cute little anime characters running around saying one-liners.
Another day, another sleigh.
You'd want to ride the sewer slide. Huh? Harry, I did it. I put it into one.
Nice.
Thank you. But here rage is born. Pettiness, profanity, and violence can finally take shape.
It was at this time that I called this Malphite a fucking worthless, brain-dead scum bastard, pile of trash, mental face that should be gunned down in the street like the degenerate he is.
It's funny because League has gotten so bad, they basically give you honor bonuses for not being mean to other people, such as their emblem, Stay Cooled, which was tilt-proof and chill. Great shot calling, leadership and strategy, and a nice GG because you're a friendly player to play with. There's no, that just pisses me off.
Well, some people use it to like passive aggressively say you were the worst on the team.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just like any competitive online video game, once someone starts having a bad experience, they start raging. And League players are some of the worst at that. Tyler won. There's a lot. I was gonna list off some more people, but a lot of them are just pedophiles. That's just, I was gonna say, well, he's more of a pedophile. We'll get into it later, but there are a plethora of compilations of people raging on stream, and all of them are very funny. Here's a little montage right now.
Whatever you want, my guy.
What is going on? Kurwa jebana szmato!
Just get cancer and die from it. That's all I wish for these pedophile cancer patients in game, of course.
Come tomorrow, we can't see my pivoting! Cancer!
How do we know he didn't say racial slurs?
We don't.
How do we know that we didn't broadcast racial slurs? Can we have someone translate what he said? Wait! We want to thank today's sponsor, Bad Dragon. Tell him we sent you. Tell him we love you. Thank you, Bad Dragon, for sponsoring the channel. Back to the video. I don't know if I want to include this, but if you went back and looked at my search history of things I've said during League, yeah, it probably wouldn't be good. I don't even think we don't need to include that in the video. I just the game does something to you. It turns your brain to soup. It makes you do that thing where you have to grip every part of your body. You're refraining from reverting back into your ape-like status, devolving back to ape. And if you don't know what griefing is, it's deliberately and intentionally irritating, harassing, annoying, or trolling other players within the game, aka FUN. Fun. That's what it is. That's like probably the only fun part of League. But what are some toxic things you can do in the game? I feel like I'm giving people a guide on like how to like make a bomb kind of thing. That leads us into our 5 stages of griefing. Stage 1, denial, aka flaming. This is the easiest stage. Most people get here at least once every game where you verbally attack another player in the game. You're gonna do it. If you play the game, you're gonna verbally assault someone else. It's like meat and potatoes. It's that simple. You know what I mean? This could be a teammate or an opponent with the statement centering around they got lucky, how players suck, they're slow, low map awareness. Right, guys? Now the guys who get pussy are like really like, oh, okay, I know exactly what's happening. I could be completely misremembering this in my mind, so don't hold it against me. But I could have swore one time in a League game, and I told a kid, I was like, I hope your parents die in an automobile wreck. And that is the exact same, that's the exact same thing Wings of Redemption said that people got mad at him about.
Hey, whatever. I hope your family dies in an automobile wreck.
What? It was the heat of the battle! It was the heat of the battle, which led me into stage 2. Anger. Typically, anger equals pings. The most petty thing you can do is spam pings in game.
They're giving me the rope emoji. That's the rope emoji. They're all telling me to kill myself. Hey!
Because it's just a little arrow and it goes anywhere on the map and it does a sound that sounds like this. Now imagine having this happen every time, and then someone's just like, hey, by the way, I hope your parents die in an automobile wreck. Ping, ping, ping. Hey, by the way, no one fucking loves you, you suck. Specifically, the question mark ping. Obviously the most tilting one because you're continuously asking someone, why would they do that? Who are you? Who do you think you are? Very philosophical. Pings are a great example that anything can be used for violence. They're supposed to be used to alert your teammates about potential danger or to coordinate movement. But instead, whenever a teammate makes a mistake, you can continuously ping them over and over again.
Oh, she's not even coming back bot now. I pissed her off. Great, bro. I fucking, with a couple pings, I made her perma-roam, but...
This is called psychological warfare. How do we know this is not what they did at Guantanamo Bay? You have some poor son of a bitch being waterboarded and they're using the, the League of Legends question mark ping. These are all things that pings allow you to do. Thank you, League. You make it so easy to psychologically destroy your opponent. Which leads us into bargaining, which the next step involves players trying to punish members of their own team, which seems like the last 2 steps, but this gets a little more chaotic. Usually, they have been beefing in chat with one another, like I said before, nice little chat that looks something like this, throwing some pings, throwing like a, I don't know, like Linkin Park soundtrack or something that you're probably listening to while you're playing. When all hope seems lost and someone is at their complete wits end, they do a nice crisp Benoit, right? They ride the sewer slide. The person runs into enemy towers and intentionally sewer slides themselves. I'm tired of the unalive. That was a good one. Sewer slide. Copyright Harry. By doing this, by riding the sewer slide, you are trying to speed up the game and give the team an advantage so the game can be done without having to leave the game. Because Riot also does a funny thing where if you leave the game, you're punished. Let's say everyone is calling you racial slurs the whole time. That's happened. It's happened to me many times. I'm a white man. I've been called many racial slurs, and it affected me emotionally and mentally. If I wanted to leave the game because I felt harassed, Riot would be like, by the way, here's a fucking penalty for leaving your game, dude. This is the bargaining stage because sometimes the person just wants the other players to apologize and admit they're wrong. Yeah, fucking right, dude. Then the next stage is depression, rage quitting. A person exits the game and doesn't come back. This is one of the ones where your teeth grit together, you slam your fist, you're kind of talking to yourself.
I'm so trash. I'm so you're washed up, you motherfucker. You short little head bastard. Get out of my head. You don't tell me what to do. I'm a good player. I'm a good player.
You do that thing where you're like yelling, but you're gritting your teeth. And it stays with you all day. As soon as you rage quit from a game, that shit stays with you indefinitely. I'd say deep-rooted scars that last with you for years. Jacob doesn't even play the game anymore.
Can't stand it.
Acceptance. This is acceptance that Tilt has consumed them, that they are getting dumpstered, and they do not want to play the game anymore. They've fully broken, they're probably going to ride the sewer slide themselves. They are going to question all of their beliefs in the game, or maybe they might even uninstall the game. After rage quitting, possibly while still in the game, the person might destroy their keyboard, their mouse, knock things off their desk, throw things, or even punch holes in walls.
Oh my f***ing god! I just broke my glasses.
Shout out my friend Lucas back in the day.
Creeps. It is seriously embarrassing watching you miss creeps when there isn't an enemy around. Thank you, Anonymous, for gifting my _ butthole.
It doesn't help too, the stream abs, like like the donation reader thing. Shout out that you're a terrible player. But then it leads us into our next chapter of this video, which is asking Riot a simple question. Can Riot be blamed for their own creation? Can Riot be held to the standards as if they're the gods amongst their own world, and can you blame God? From the start, the game has been plagued with toxicity. When the league was first released, one of the devs named Pendragon tried to kill its competitor known as Dota, which that's Nick's game. The guy who eats those chicken sandwiches. Put a video of the chicken sandwich thing. That's a Dota player. Which Pendragon ran the biggest Dota community website and deleted the entire thing to showcase an ad for League of Legends in its place. Then, when Dota 2 was in beta, Pendragon tried to get Blizzard to copyright claim Dota 2. Riot Games also has had a history of toxicity in their workplace. In 2018, Riot Games suspended their CEO, Scott Gelb, for 2 months without pay after reports of sexual misconduct and a pending lawsuit. Did he move over to Blizzard? Gelb was accused of touching employees' genitals and farting in their faces. You can see that new champion we just made? Let me touch your cock. They lost a lawsuit regarding bro culture. Despite the allegations and proven discrimination, Gelb remained employed with them until 2023. During the same year, another lawsuit was launched against Riot Games for a long history of sexism, which is unfortunately rampant in the video game industry. I don't, dude, get the chicks out of here. Is what I say, dude. Hey, women, don't be playing video games, dude. This is for the boys. Please cut that, please cut that, please cut that. Valorant Studio was ordered to pay $104 million to 1,549 female employees working for Riot between 2014 and 2021. In response to unequal hiring practices, they begrudgingly decided to generously hire 20% female leadership. Fine. God, ruin all the games. They don't even want to grab cocks and fart in each other's faces, so I guess, okay, well, I'm finding a new job. Many employees who were mentioned by name in the lawsuit for engaging in sexist and discriminatory behavior were never suspended or punished in any meaningful way. They still continued to work at the company after the lawsuit was lost. Which that leads us into toxic player base. It appears the best players in the game are toxic. Because you know what? If you're good at something, you want to fucking let people know that you're good at it and that they're bad at it. And in 2012, Moscow 5 professional team won the tournament, and then they had to apologize for their toxic remarks in game. That's bullshit. For a tournament, that feels weird.
It's like looks like a beheading video.
This does look like an ISIS beheading video. Also, all the shadows on the wall, oh my god. It's like a guy with like a fucking machete just like coming around the corner. And then suspiciously, the owner of the Moscow 5 was taken down for credit card fraud, and the team was rebranded as Gambit Games and based in the UK, even though people couldn't figure out where the new funding came from. The biggest toxic player of all time and then now reformed is Tyler 1. He lives here in Missouri. He was infamous for aggressive and toxic behavior in game, and there are many clips of him insulting teammates, intentionally, feeding. That was the big thing. He just run it down mid, and he's short and buff, and he has a bald ass head. Hell yeah. He had over 20 accounts banned by Riot until 2016, when an indefinite ban was issued, where any and all accounts associated with him would be banned. But the ban was lifted in 2018, allowing him to play LoL publicly once more. Good for you, Tyler. Or you have L9, the 4 horsemen of the toxic apocalypse. It was formed by Rat IRL, Apocalypse, Self-Made, and Obsessed. There is really nothing more cringy than like online gamer tag like names, you know what I mean? During Season 5 and at the beginning of Season 6, L9 really helped popularize the toxic landscape of League. They created the club with the sole purpose to grief players online, knowing it would gain popularity. And this community of high elo players would stream snipe people in game, harass players they viewed under them, and place people on the int list. Rat IRL, Obsessed, and Self-Made all left the L9 toxicity, but not the aptly named Apocalypse. He started his own server, and illegal and illicit imagery was posted there, so frequently Discord sent a manual message to them to curb their bad behavior. Finally, after enough cases were linked to the server, Discord shut it down. XJ9, who's also known as the most hated LoL player ever, rose in infamy for explicit death threats and abusive behavior, both in and out of game, leaked his girlfriend's nudes because she picked Lee Sin. Or I just put your pussy in your asshole out online, so good fucking pick, babe. One of the rare few recipients of the ID ban, a deeper ban that prohibits them from creating, accessing, or using any account on Riot Games platforms. Got banned from forums for spamming his stream links and engaged in cheating tactics called elo boosting. Or you have Cookie LOL. He's an ADC player and a league trainer. And a 90-page document released against him claiming grooming and sexual misconduct against minors, allegedly as low as 13 years old. What the, yeah, pretty base, so you definitely have a fantasy about set flash ulting your pussy and slamming you into the wall. And it has a Giga Chat emoji. Cookie LOL! Cookie LOL! Come on! This document prompted Cookie LOL to go to Twitch to address the allegations. Later, Cookie LOL posted a document responding to everything. He admitted to sexual misconduct with a minor. He brings up flirting and messaging this girl who was about to turn 16 when he was 20, and this was in 2020. He talks about being Swedish and the age of consent there is 15. He even mentioned he might someone and he would never do it again. And when the internet became outraged at his response, he promised to discuss everything on a live stream. On the stream, it was clear that people were watching a pre-recorded video that lasted 7 minutes. It was scammy, the stream was monetized, so people had to give subs in order to comment and publicly criticize him. And then we have probably one of my favorite ones here. I don't know why this one gets me pretty good. Toxicity by role/champion, which we have first off, the Jax players memes. I don't know why this is a thing, but this is one of my favorite memes out of this. R/Jax mains. I am against pedophilia. Pedophilia is bad. Top laners, specifically Jax players, are known to be pedophiles. I don't know why this is a thing in LoL culture, but it just seems to be the case. This comes from Steven's Jax, who at one point was the best Jax top player in the game. Steven Jax. It looks like Little Xan. Like if Little Xan did steroids. He's constantly used homophobic, racist, and graphic language in game, and even made death threats which resulted in bans. Then you have King, the #1 Jax player in Brazil, who was arrested for having CP on his computer. My God.
Não foi isso que os vídeos da investigação mostram, né? Pedofilia, zoofilia, automutilação.
Mas eu não tenho nada a ver com isso.
Depending on who you play, you might be considered a file.
Don't be fooled by her childish appearance. Zoe is an ancient being, a cosmic messenger of Targon.
You might be considered a racist. Because you played this champion, you might be considered extremely toxic or an evil person. Who you pick in the game defines a lot about who you are. It's like a zodiac sign. But then we get into the deaths. Sometimes the toxicity doesn't end with the game, and some people have taken their in-game beef outside and committed horrible acts. Like Chinrong, who was the... That feels racist, I don't know why. Who was the gaming cafe IP farmer. Chinrong, a desperate LoL player, logged into his account and achieved 23 hours straight of gaming at a gaming cafe. He did not drink or eat during this time. Lack of sleep, food, and sustenance caused him to have a heart attack. Since it was common to see other people sleeping at a 24/7 gaming cafe, nobody noticed his death for 9 hours. Or how about Lucci? Lived at a technical school and played League of Legends. Lost 3 games in a row and in a fit of rage, murdered his own roommate with a knife. Kind of quirky. Yeah, imagine in game 2, like you're like sitting in the bed laying next to him. How are the games going? He's just like... Gustavo lost a game and in his group had a rule that the person who cost them the loss had to choke themselves on webcam until they lost consciousness by hand or object. He tied his neck to a boxing bag and ended up hanging himself. And then you move into death threats. Faker, who's probably like one of the probably the most popular, well-known League of Legends player ever, had received numerous death threats from other League of Legends players with enough credibility that his team has hired extra security and taken measures at public tournaments to make sure that no one actually fucking kills him. How crazy is that? All because he's good at the game. And you know, League of Legends, I'm gonna say it, I'll still play it in the future. I'm too hooked. Maybe I don't play it every day. Maybe I'll take years off of it, but something always calls me back. And I remember sitting on YouTube back in like the 2016 era when League clips and, you know, live stream fails and all that kind of stuff was at its peak. I remember enjoying all that content, and it's just insane to see where League is at now, and especially how back then, how much it just changes in a few years. It's unbelievable. Through all the fake rage baiting and all kinds of other clips of people trying to do stuff online, League of Legends, I do think, truly is the most diabolically evil game out there. The weird juxtaposition of weird, tiny, cute anime characters and sweaty, angry people playing the game is something that I think will truly be studied in the future at some point. So if you do want to get into League, don't! And if you are playing League right now, Godspeed, my friend. Take care, everyone. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
You're not gonna fucking wave back, then just leave. I've had a fucking enough. Wave back!
I think the court, we can move on for the Riot Games became so ubiquitous with ubiquitous. Riot Games became so ubiquitous. Riot Games became so ubiquitous. Tyler Steinkamp. Is that his name? His full name? I don't know. I'm just gonna put Tyler one. Welcome back to the Papa Me channel. How you doing? How you doing? Come on and sit on down because today we're talking about game consoles. When big video game companies announce their brand new gaming consoles, it's always big news. It becomes the talk of the internet, talk of the town, and often that leads to greater and greater anticipation for the official launch. You guys remember the Wii? Now they don't even show it on the news anymore. It used to be a big thing where people were like, they're waiting in line to get a what? A PS2? What? What is that? Now they're just like, yeah, of course. You know, it's so normal now. While many gaming consoles have lived up to that hype, there are far too many stories of products that release to an absolute disastrous response. So with that said, let's talk about some of the biggest console launching failures in gaming history. Buckle up, gamers. We're talking about failed consoles. And of course, we can't discuss console launches without first talking about the Nintendo Switch 2, which is one of the reasons why we even wanted to do this video as like a fun way to look, but to just take a trip down memory lane. To take a trip down memory lane, because right now the Nintendo 2 Switch, I feel like, what do you think the response is? I feel like it's been kind of negative.
Well,
here's the thing. People are stoked on it. I think people are just like, there's no difference and you're just charging more for a bigger screen. Is that kind of and also the games are more expensive too, right?
I've seen a lot more negative than positive, but that it's the internet. It's a bubble.
It's the internet to where I wonder if they just land the launch, if it'll be okay. Because I don't know if people remember when the Nintendo Switch released, it was like, there was a bunch of people saying that like it was bugged out, or also people were getting their screens scratched by the console going into its slot and all that stuff. There was like a lot of weird stuff, so it was hyped. But I feel like when people were actually getting it in their hands, they're like, yeah, my game is like bricked. Which I feel like there's obviously, no matter what, there's going to be defective first models, but still. But while the Switch 2 hasn't released just yet, it's already been plagued with controversy. Starting with the big live stream presentation Nintendo hosted to show off its brand new product. Which, you know, the good of the product is the console itself boasted a lot of big upgrades like bigger, vivid 1080p screen, upgraded Joy-Con controllers, and increased storage. Just general, like, stuff that it should have just happened already, you know? Stuff that the Steam Deck has been doing, I guess, for like 5 years now or whatever. Nintendo's like, all right, fine. Okay, we'll do it. You want a bigger screen? Fine. People were incredibly excited over the games that were showcased, which included games like Donkey Kong Bonanza, which I will say, that game looks sick. It does, it looks awesome. Mario Kart World, and a brand new Kirby Air Riders. Kirby! Watch out, Nick, I'm gonna suck you. And of course, From Software has an exclusive game coming out called The Dust Bloods, which is just, I mean, it's Bloodborne 2. That actually looks sick too. Be a little vampire and fly around. You get to fly and drop down and suck people's blood, suck them off. You just suck them off. I like how From Software, they're like, did you get to suck with them off?
Just like Kirby.
Just like Kirby.
Today's day is sponsored by Magic Spoon, reinventing your childhood one bite at a time. Magic Spoon is a perfect fit for a variety of diets because it's high in protein and has no sugar. Magic Spoon also has flavors you loved growing up, like fruity, cocoa, and peanut butter. And all these tasty flavors are loaded with 13 to 14 grams of protein and are completely gluten-free. And don't forget, Magic Spoon also has treats. These protein bars are crispy, crunchy, and completely guilt-free. They are the perfect snack to have in the morning after a nice workout. And featuring flavors of marshmallow, chocolatey peanut butter, double chocolate, and even blueberry muffin. Each bar is 12 grams of protein and 1 gram of sugar and 2 grams of carbs. Plus, Magic Spoon also added granola to the mix. Try honey, almond, or peanut butter for breakfast and get 13 grams of protein. Why don't you treat yourself? Use code PAPAMeat or click the link in the description to try Magic Spoon treats or granola today and get $5 off. You can also find Magic Spoon on Amazon or in your nearest grocery store. And Magic Spoon is so confident in the product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee online. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. So click the link in the description or go to magicspoon.com/papameat or scan the QR code on screen for $5 off. Thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this video, and back to the video.
That's all the pros, okay? Now we get to this is the bad. This is what people say is the bad side. What started to cause a stir was the price tag for the console, which was raised to $450, which cost $150 more than the original Switch on its launch, right? Bigger screen, more storage. They're like, yeah, so it's like, also, I feel like those are so minuscule in terms of the production. They're like, yeah, but we're gonna need, the box that it ships in is gonna be bigger, so.
Well, the funny thing is that that technology gets cheaper as time goes on.
Well, hold. I like look over like David Nintendo standing behind me. And just for a comparison with these, figures, a Steam Deck costs $50 less and has better hardware specs than the Switch 2. So, but you can't play Donkey Kong Bonanza, or you probably can because it's a computer and you can just hack it and do whatever you want.
Oh, well, I was gonna say that you'd have to get a ROM, but Nintendo doesn't release stuff for PC.
Doesn't release stuff for PC. Listen, I'm just saying the gamers find a way. And if you have a Steam Deck, it's having like I don't know, like a portal gun or some shit. You can do whatever you want. And to add insult to injury, the Japanese version of the Switch will only be $350. Yeah. Racially charged, dude. Racially charged consumerism. Listen, man, Konichiwa, throw me the discount, brother. You know what I'm saying? Their games also saw a significant raise in price as well, with some going up to $90 for physical copies. It comes on an SD card.
That's another thing. A lot of them are download only, and then some are SD cards that only unlock a code.
Yeah, which I hate. Like, let me have a physical copy of something. Nintendo, they're positioning themselves with like cringe streamers that are like, if we just don't want a game on something, we can just delete it and then no one gets to play it ever again. There's no way to retrieve it. How stupid is that, dude? I don't know. This had many people panicking that this would cause a chain reaction and video games as a whole would see a universal price increase. That's gonna happen. That's just gonna happen. It is. People are like, well, people paid $90 to play Donkey Kong Smash Through a Rock. Why? I mean, Call of Duty, the new Call of Duty is gonna be $90, 100%. Assassin's Creed, whatever, $90, 100%. Absurd rumors began to spread about Grand Theft Auto 6 might end up costing $150.
Worth it.
Yeah, some people are like, I'd pay it. And I know, and the thing too is people would pay it, because they're going to jump through the loopholes of like, well, I'm going to be playing this for the next 15 years. It's $150 now for I had 15 years of pleasure, of pure pleasure.
That's $10 a year.
Yeah. Nintendo even revealed a console tech demo that would launch alongside the Switch 2, but announced that it wouldn't come free with the console, right? I mean, the demo's going to cost you $10. All right, long gone are the days of PlayStation giving you demos with a free pizza from Pizza Hut. That's no more, right?
Oh yeah, those are great.
That was the best, dude. I had this one from Pizza Hut. So sick. I got like a large pepperoni pizza when I was younger. My grandpa got it. We got dinner, and then it came with a demo that had Metal Gear Solid, Tomb Raider. It might have been 2, Kane, Soul of Kane or something, and then also the biggest one, Medieval.
Great game.
Oh. That shit went banana sandwich is what I did. I was unbelievable. Fans became infuriated with Nintendo for being seemingly much more greedy than they were with the past releases, right? Our Japanese heroes are being a bit greedy. They're not like that. They're so kawaii. Why? Why are you doing this? You're not American. Stop! For example, PS5 got Astro's Playroom as a tech demo for free. For people living in the US, this frustration was amplified after President Donald Trump announced that tariffs would be placed on goods imported from most other countries, literally every other country on earth. Not most, basically all. It was later revealed by Nintendo that the $450 price tag would not change. Liars. The accessories, however, would all receive a price adjustment with potential for further changes in the future depending on the market conditions. And then there's gonna be a day where it's like, okay, the console has to come up $50. Sorry. And the controllers are also at $90 now too. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Lastly, the straw that broke the camel's back. Fans were extremely upset that the voice and video chat features will require an online subscription. Not Nintendo! But even with everyone complaining online, the Nintendo Switch 2 sold out in a matter of hours in the United States. And this is just the most recent outrage, right? I wouldn't even say it's not even the biggest. This is just over speculation of what's going to happen. And people are still like, we'll pay it. I don't care. But let's go back in time a bit and talk about older consoles, like when the Xbox 360 released. While the console itself was a pretty massive success, it had its fair share of problems at launch, namely hardware complications. I think they all rolled their eyes and they knew exactly what was coming. A giant red light was shining in their face and they're just like, no. People were reporting crashes, glitches, overheating, and hard drive malfunctions, and alongside it came the infamous Red Ring of Death, which is so crazy. I just want to say the Red Ring of Death is like such a household. It's like literally like Jesus Christ, Red Ring of Death. It's like it's that because even the parents were affected by it because kids would be like, you had to pack it up and ship it back and they'd send you a new one, and that motherfucker had the Red Ring of Death too. Brutal, bro. This was an error caused by the failure of hardware components, sometimes leading to startling errors like piercingly loud sounds coming out of your console.
When that motherfucking red thing come up and then the whole game freeze and motherfucker be like, man, what the fuck is going on? We can't play. What's going on? Yo, doing that too? It was, oh my God.
And in most cases, the Red Ring of Death would essentially brick your device and you could send it to Microsoft for repairs, but there was no guarantee that some error wouldn't happen again down the line. AKA, let me tell you, me personally, went through 4 of them. Not even joking, I sent 3 of them in, the 4th one finally stuck. But by the time the 4th one came in, they did the re-updated one to where it had like the touchpad power button, and those were great. And they were cheaper. I felt like a real dingus, let me tell you that. Other gamers started figuring out how to fix their consoles at home by employing absurd methods, like putting the motherboard in the oven or wrapping it in a towel while it overheated.
That was my brother. He started a business. I'll fix your Xbox 360, and then yeah, you just throw it in the oven.
So what, did it work? Why? What temperature was he throwing these bad boys in at? 450 on broil? Microsoft responded to the non-stop reports of hardware issues by extending the warranty and sending an empty box through UPS to customers so they could ship it back for repairs. A move that ended up costing Microsoft over $1 billion.
I remember going out to curb and like meeting the UPS guy and looking in the back of the UPS truck and seeing wall to wall, Xbox returns.
When they found out about it, the head guy was just like, basically talked to them like, we need to send this out now. And he's like, well, how much is it going to cost? He's like, it's going to cost like 1.5 billion.
We have Skyrim and GTA 5 coming. We'll financially recover. We'll be okay. It took 2 years and 3 different versions of the 360 until Microsoft was able to fix the problem permanently. Maybe not even permanently. I'm not going to put permanently on that, actually. They pretty much fixed it. The Red Ring of Death was such a huge issue that an estimate of over 50% of the original run of Xbox 360s have died so far. Contrast that with its competitor, the PS3, having only a 10% death rate. Still kind of high.
Yeah, I was going to say the normal like percentage is 3 to 5.
3 to 5. So even the PS3 is just like, they're lucky. They're like, all the motherfuckers had was Resistance, like the Resistance franchise, and they're just like. Aside from the main console, there was also another great failure released by Microsoft around the same time, which we could just caveat because it was a 360 product. We're of course talking about Xbox's Kinect. Xbox just seems like such a worthless company, dude. Microsoft just drops the bag so much on so much shit.
They're dying. They have no exclusives anymore.
Well, that's why they just buy up like Bethesda. They buy up game studios and they're just like, so you can still release it over there, but you guys are cool with us, right? Then Todd Howard just like fucking, I don't know, jacks off into a cup and he's like, eat it. I don't know where that came from. I like to imagine that the executives, they either subs or they're just like, we're gonna play a game of Limp Bizkit. You know what Limp Bizkit is? It's not just a fun band name. It's where like the guys in college, everyone off into a cracker first, and whoever finishes last has to eat it. That's what the Xbox execs and the Bethesda team do. We're thinking about doing Fallout New Vegas again. We're playing right then and there. Really, did Oblivion remaster do well for him?
Oh, huge.
Really?
There's a bunch of pictures going around with it's Giga Chad Todd Howard.
Gamers have to be probably the worst fandom, right?
Most toxic.
Most toxic, I'll say that. Of like, they either love you as a god or immediately they're just like, kill that motherfucker. Because I thought people hated Todd. And also he's friend. Did you see that thing with him and Elon on that game panel at E3? So awkward. So uncomfortable, dude. Anyways, the Xbox Kinect was a motion sensing device that was released in 2010 to be used alongside the Xbox 360 for a unique gaming experience, which is one of the funniest. Like, watching the Kinect release is like one of the funniest things. It's like you play as a mom, like talking to like an autistic child, and he's like, did you see that? How he responded? He could tell that Jennifer didn't, you know, that she was not giving him respect. Whatever. It's like so scripted. You know what I mean? There's no way that's what the experience is going to be like. But my friends, for $150, you could use the Kinect to control games using only your body and voice. This was an attempt to keep the Xbox 360 interesting and relevant until 2015, according to Shane Kim, the former vice president of Microsoft. I like how they're just like, we just got to hold off. We just got to hold off until 2015. But at E3 in 2009, Microsoft unveiled something called Project Milo to demonstrate its capabilities. This tech demo, which was suspected to originally be its own game, essentially allowed you to interact with a 10-year-old AI child named Milo. It's one of the funniest things ever.
Hi, Milo. How you doing?
Hi, Claire. You okay?
Actually, I'm a bit nervous.
You? Nervous? I don't believe it.
The character was built to respond to your words and gestures, constantly updating its personal dictionary in order to stimulate a lifelike and constantly evolving companionship. Raising a child is what Project Milo was. The developers in charge bit off way more than they could chew, making it increasingly difficult to convince Microsoft that the idea was worth prioritizing, foreshadowing the future of the Kinect device. I think once they saw this, they were just like, uh-oh. Millions of Kinects were purchased, but the games released at launch to utilize the controller were incredibly lackluster. I'm pretty sure there was like a riverboat ride where you literally just do this. You just lean and you just go down a river. More than that, the device was another example of Microsoft's shoddy hardware, often not responding to voice commands consistently. Hype for the Kinect died down incredibly fast, but Microsoft wasn't ready to get rid of it yet. When the Xbox One was showcased at E3 2013, it was announced that the Kinect would be bundled with it and required to be plugged in at all times for the console to operate. That's also some like shit where I think at the other end they were like selling people's information or whatever.
When the Xbox first came out, they realized that the thing is always, because I think it's LiDAR, it's always on. It's always like shooting out something. So people are just like, oh, you're going to spy on me in my home.
Yes, and they were. Microsoft was definitely doing that. This received a ton of backlash from users who had no interest in the Kinect, and on top of fear that the device was recording people for the purpose of targeted advertising, which it was. It definitely was. Microsoft backed off, removing the need to have the Kinect operating at all times. Still, the console bundle caused the price to be $100 more expensive than the competing PS4 at the time, which began affecting sales months after its release. And eventually, they gave up on forcing the Kinect onto consumers, and they sold the Xbox One without it, and later removed the dedicated parts for it. And by 2017, the Kinect was discontinued completely. Which I think the peak of the Kinect was JonTron did a video that you used the Kinect for like a Star Wars dancing game.
Oh my god!
That was hype. And then also I'm pretty sure the absolute pinnacle was they used it in Paranormal Activity 4. That's it. Maybe you could have made a good game, I don't know. Instead, you just had people clowning on you the whole time. Even though the Kinect was a complete failure for playing video games, it found a new lease on life when it started to be used in 3D scanning, motion tracking, and even CT scanning in hospitals. I love that it's just like the laser is so powerful that they're just like, let's just... I don't want to be in a riverboat, just give it to me. We can like actually help human beings. Now let's talk about a console that had a launch so horrific that it completely disappeared off the face of the earth. This is my favorite failed console of all time. Of course, I'm talking about the Ouya. One of the funniest Kickstarter campaigns of all time. One of the funniest CEOs to overhype it. My favorite clip is that one where it's I feel like I'm just saying a bunch of Crowcab clips. Shout out Crowcat. First off, like, it was such a great YouTube channel, but I just love the part where she's just like, we have a touchpad on our controller. No one else does that. And the guy's like, the PS4 has it. And she's like, You're right.
Our controller has a touchpad. You're not going to find that somewhere else. And the reality is...
The new PlayStation 4 controller has a touchpad.
That's true.
It's awesome. The Ouya was a big deal back in 2013, as it was one of the more popular attempts at a console that wasn't just tied to the big three, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo.
Effectively, we're trying to disrupt an established industry. It takes a lot of guts and courage. Well, I wasn't a female, I say big balls.
It was a totally new endeavor, one that aimed to create a high-quality console for an affordable price while still giving a solid selection of titles from indie games to major publishers. It was also a big gimmick of theirs was, if you have the Ouya, you can try a game before you actually buy it to see if it's worth playing. Let me tell you, the storm clouds were already forming. The Kickstarter video boasted a console that uses Android open source technology that encouraged developers from all over to put their games on their platform without having to jump the same hurdles as you would going through established company, right? So you could just put it on the console. You wouldn't have to like pitch the game or get funding from a game studio, blah, 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 all this stuff. You could just make it and put it right on. Because I think a lot of indie developers, you have to like make a deal and there's like exclusivity stuff. Like there's a bunch of stuff that actually gets tied into indie game development.
Yeah, for consoles too. Even, I think Steam, they have a new program where you just pay $100, but before, I think it was an exclusive, you still had to go through like a process.
Yeah, probably some giant process. Here, have someone from another YouTube video talk about it.
Package.
Within 1 month on Kickstarter, the Ouya was backed by 63,000 people and made around $8.6 million. But that wasn't all. They eventually got $15 million in venture capital funding as well. In total, they were looking at $25 million in total funding to make the Ouya, to make the dream, to make the Ouya happen. There's gotta be somebody with an Ouya tattoo out there. Can we, editor, put up a picture of an Ouya tattoo if you have it? Bro, brutal. Would you rather have like a full neck and shoulder, like late 90s tribal tattoo, or would you rather have just a tattoo of an Ouya? I think I'd do the Ouya.
Really?
I think it'd be really funny. It's just like gone but not forgotten or some shit like that. Ouya was aiming to release later that year for only $99, which is crazy. Things would take a sharp turn during a keynote interview at South by Southwest, where the creator, Julia Ehrman, seemed to disappoint attendees by not giving detailed answers to a lot of the questions or just sounding ignorant about the current gaming space in general. I love this interview. I hate COVID, not for the fact that it shut down America. I don't give a fuck. And I thank God that our DoorDash people, right? But I want to say that it completely killed keynote speeches like this. Now everybody does the Apple thing where it's all pre-recorded. It's bullshit. Old E3 clips and like people having to actually go up on a stage and talk about it, that's all gone. So unfortunate. Because you get golden moments like this.
What's the recommended amount of dedicated RAM I should have to a server?
That's it. I miss you. I miss you. At one point, Urban asked how many consoles were sold, and she simply repeats, a lot. But she doesn't just say it like this, she does, a lot. And he does, you're not gonna give a specific number? She does, a lot.
How many have you sold?
A lot.
Can you give me a range?
A lot.
Like, you're not going to tell me a number?
No, I'm not.
To go along with their mission to disrupt the gaming industry, they hosted an unofficial Ouya booth across the street from E3 to promote itself to anyone, which is just so cringe. You want to go to the Ouya booth? No. In response, E3 organizers began renting out spaces around the parking lot that Ouya would be operating in. They then parked loads of semi-trucks all over so they would block the public from seeing their booth, which is just so petty. It's so petty. It's like the thing has $30 million in funding, and it's like you are dealing with trillions of dollars inside. They're just like, yeah, cover them up. Hide the hornet's nest. Which actually Urban retaliated by renting spots in front of the trucks for more Ouya advertisements, and E3 even called the police to have their permits checked, which was unsuccessful. How petty, dude. Honestly, Urban kind of him around right there, didn't she? She big beaved him. She flashed her beeve and she said, mine's bigger. Gotta like it. No way we can put that in the video. Okay. When the consoles finally delivered to customers and tech reviewers, it was immediately met with an underwhelming reception. And underwhelming, it was horrible. I mean, like really bad. The games are terrible. I know people were shitting on the games because they were all just like basically flash games that you would find on the internet in like the 90s or something. But it was like all the controllers were terrible. The box is just, it was just all so cheap. By the time the Ouya had slowly lost hype and grinded to a halt, they had only sold 200,000 devices, and it was discontinued in 2015. And the services were all shut down in 2019 to anyone still using the product.
Bet there's one, the Ouya guy with the tattoo.
No! Ouya! What if could he just be like, can I just buy the server so I can play my Ouya forever? If they were like, we'll sell it to you, I'd be like, give it to him. Give the man the server. The next one we're going to talk about is less of a console and more of a service. Nevertheless, it was one of the biggest gaming flops in recent history, and I'm talking about Google Stadia. Have you heard of Google Stadia? I know you probably have. I'm asking the viewer, have you at home? The person like eating like ramen watching this, they're like, okay, well, good, because you're here. Google Stadia is a streaming platform that was announced in 2019, and it promised users that it would be able to play the newest AAA titles in 4K 60 FPS on any device that could run Google Chrome from a TV to a smartphone. That sounds made up. Even my ass, who's like not tech savvy at all, I'm like, that can't be done. Google was so bold as to say that the Stadia is more powerful than the PS4 and the Xbox One combined. With the financial backing of Google on top of their support of big developers and game studios like Bethesda, people truly thought that this would be a major step forward in gaming. The first wave of disappointment came with the announcement of its pricing structure. You had to pay $130 for their controller as well as Chromecast to run the service. And the service itself was $10 a month, meaning you would pay full price for games on top of an indefinite subscription fee. So not only do you get to pay the price of the game, but every month you're also tacking on top, which $10, let me tell you, that adds up, dude.
Well, it's not even just like, oh, I want to cancel it. If you cancel it, you never play your game again.
Never. When the service launched, things started to get very bad very quickly. Not only was there a lack of good games, but there was loads of connectivity and latency issues. What? No. And in a Forbes article reviewing the launch product, Paul Tassi writes this: I am genuinely amazed with how shockingly bad Stadia has performed at my home over the course of many sessions. I write for Forbes. It's where the wealthy read. I'm a wealthy man, and I play Stadia. He even uploaded a video showing how often cutscenes stutter. Roll it! What's more is many of the features Google boasted were missing, like the true 4K gameplay or streaming directly to YouTube. They continued releasing third-party games, but the spark had been dying down for a while, to the point where Google shut down its service in 2023. Many employees learned of this through social media and not from Google, including people in the middle of developing games for the studio. So like they're like, yeah, it shut down. They're like, what? What? They're all programming in the back. That would suck, dude. Well, at least we have the Stadia. Luckily, everyone who purchased Stadia and its subscription fees were given refunds. Some people swore by the service, but were unable to play anymore, as the games could not be operated without connection to Google servers. Now let's go back and talk about an older and much more bizarre console launch, the Nintendo Virtual Boy. Some old heads definitely just perked up. The Virtual Boy was an early attempt in virtual reality gaming, one that ended up being a massive disaster for one of the biggest companies in the space. According to the original New York Times article, quote, to play a Virtual Boy game, a user must look directly into two miniature displays to view stereoscopic images created by arrays of red light emitting diodes, or LEDs. We're going to blind your f***ing child. We're going to make sure your child has a seizure. Virtual Boy gaming at its peak, thank you. There were blaring criticisms to be made as soon as it was released. While Nintendo games were often focused on group play, the Virtual Boy felt antisocial. Little did they know the future was going to be much more bleak, as players would literally shove their faces into a machine to play on their own. The games themselves didn't really utilize the 3D effect and more so just became a novelty that required a cumbersome piece of hardware. The red LEDs used were vital in order to make a console affordable, but it was an incredibly unappealing visual style to many gamers. People reported that they were getting motion sick from using the system, and furthermore, there was a legitimate fear that children under 7 would develop a lazy eye if the two screens were not aligned properly. That's awesome. And a 1995 issue of Game Pro magazine claimed it might potentially cause permanent brain damage to play the Virtual Boy. The device cost $180 and was quickly lowered to $160 and then down to $99 after its release in response to poor sales. Only 770,000 were sold, and the negative response pushed Nintendo to discontinue the product after 6 months. When we can talk about a unique type of console failure, it's normal to see celebrities push their brand by selling products, like many celebrities do with alcohol nowadays. I feel like every celebrity has an alcohol nowadays. A lot of gin, too much gin, some tequila. Mostly tequila and gin, that's the big thing. But how about a celebrity that tried to sell a gaming console? Like my boy Soldier Boy. He tried doing Soldier Game. How did he not call it the Soldier Boy? What the f? It's just called Soldier Game? Jesus. In 2018, the known rapper Soulja Boy decided to release a line of gaming consoles, one handheld for $99 and one for television that sold for $149. As he promoted the product for its upcoming release, he took to Twitter to announce that he had plans to start an esports team and further develop his tech company. Soulja Boy, more like Soulja Man with some of these entrepreneurial ideas. When the console was released, people discovered that it was a cheap piece of hardware loaded up with an emulator and shit ton of popular games, including tons from various Nintendo consoles. He just stole a bunch of shit, basically.
He basically bought something off AliExpress, I think.
Yes, he literally, it was like a template. The hardware was all made in China and was an insane markup. Pretty much he just saw this thing, it's like, oh, this is like a gimmicky tool. Like you see a lot of these gimmicks still today of like, oh, like this has every Nintendo game in it, whatever, which it has to be illegal, right? It didn't take long for Soulja Boy to get contacted by Nintendo, leading to all the consoles and handhelds being removed from his online store. For those who thought his career in gaming was over, in 2021, the rapper turned to announce that the Soulja game console, also known as the TRDR Pocket, is in development on his official Twitter account. And he said this: building a new console from scratch. All new design, all new games, all new deals. Let's make history. And on a podcast in 2023, he revealed that they've partnered up with Walmart to sell the handheld in all their stores. This one includes the use of AI, apparently. It seems to still be a rebranded Chinese gaming device, and reviewers were disappointed to discover that it was yet again an overpriced, overly designed emulator device. Since 2023, the rapper has not made any updates about the handheld or further gaming venture. Rip Soulja Boy. It's fascinating to see how many promising game ventures ended up crashing and burning on day one. On literally day one. Consoles like the Ouya, God bless you, or Google Stadia sound great on paper, but are doomed to fail without perfect implementations. And it just leads you to believe that, guess what? No matter what gaming companies do, if it's one of the big three, you're probably gonna fork over money because we have no control as human beings, especially if you're a Nintendo fan. But that's for another day. Thank you so much for watching this video. We appreciate you. And hey, happy gaming, guys. And girls, and they, thems. Happy gaming, everybody. We appreciate you. Bye-bye. Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Coming in and sitting down because today we're talking about Roblox. Roblox is one of the most popular games on planet Earth. I had no idea. I thought Roblox is old. Old dead meme. I don't know, guess not. Because my Instagram feed, I love me some Instagram Reels, the heinous nature of Instagram Reels. And it's been nothing lately but Roblox cringe. And even though I've been consuming like VR rooms, weird sex chat rooms, kids talking about like making money off Roblox, all kinds of stuff, I have no idea what you're supposed to do with the game. And I guess that's kind of the point, but it's got me completely perplexed by this to dig deeper into the Roblox lore, the fandom, the interaction, the craze. I need to figure out what's the big deal with Roblox.
Life. There's Roblox.
But let's say you don't know what Roblox is, much like myself. Let me give you a little taste of what Roblox is. It's an online game that gives users the tools to create their own games called experiences to share with the world. What started as a pretty bare bones experience in 2004 has slowly become one of the biggest video games in the entire world. As of 2024, ladies and gentlemen, the game has amassed over 89 million daily active users and made $3.6 billion in revenue. That's just in 2024. Billions of dollars being made with stuff that looks like this. Anything's possible.
I thought it was a Minecraft clone.
I thought it was too. It's like, what is it? Legos, and then what's the other? Mega Bloks. It's like, who the f wants to play Mega Bloks? Well, when you see some of the freaky shit that you can do in Roblox, I think Minecraft's gonna lose a whole lot of appeal. Let me just say that. And let me say, as a side note, at its peak in 2020 during the pandemic, the game had 160 million daily active users, including half of American children under the age of 16 years old. Half of all of American children are playing Roblox. It's gotten so big that major companies have started collaborating with Roblox to make high-budget gaming experiences. Kind of like Fortnite with like Travis Scott, or like all these other companies are kind of coming in and they're doing like cross-promotional stuff where people can get skins or experiences. But these are some of the ones that Roblox has been able to pick up. The Gucci Garden. Gucci, dude! A Gucci sponsored experience where players could enter a virtual store and purchase limited time cosmetic items. Or Sonic Speed Simulator, an officially licensed Sonic game within Roblox. A Sonic game inside of a game, dude. The Little Nas X concert experience.
Yeah!
Where the f did he go? I feel like
he just came back. He just posted something recently.
Was it good?
It was just a social media post saying like, I'm back, bitches. He's hyping up his new album.
Kobe, that shit's gonna flop, dude. Does anyone care?
Yeah, he twerked on the devil.
He did twerk on the devil. Got my jimmies all riled up. And of course, we talk about the Dress to Impress Charlie XCX collab, a line of clothing themed after the artist's Brat album that was released in the popular Runway dressed up game. It's Roblox. It's this character. But it's not all fun and games in the world of Roblox. You know, I'm hyping it up big time. But like with any other game, there's a seedy underbelly. There's something nefarious going on. When something's this popular, you're gonna have a little bit of fungus growing. All right, let me tell you, Roblox has a whole mushroom kingdom just waiting to be explored. Which it goes without saying, but a majority of the people playing Roblox are very, very young children. As we said, half of American children, dude, under the age of 16. I'm just gonna say every American child under the age of 16 is playing Roblox. That's the statistic I'm making up, and that's law now. Not only does the visual style appeal to that age demographic, but the game is free to play on PC and iOS. Basically free to play meme there. You know, the graphics, I think the visual style is ugly as shit. It's too old, it's outdated. But I think with meme culture and how wonky everything looks, I think it's very appealing for like meme content. However, there are loads of different things to spend Robux on, which is their premium currency that costs real money, baby. With it, people can buy cosmetics as well as in-game perks. You want to deck your fucking character out because let me tell you, you gotta look good in the game, dude. If you're not looking good, are you even playing? I doubt it. With its user base being as young as it is, this is where it starts to see players being exploited. A problem that has persisted for a long time in Roblox's lifespan. One common method is through phishing links that are sent to users promising free Robux, which takes people to a website that looks similar to Roblox's, and from there, the scammers are able to steal the user's login and bake credentials. Basically, they're taking children. Does this look like Roblox? Like, yeah. And then they have their mom's credit card information, probably swiped, didn't even know that it was on there. And now you have all these people coming in and just stealing probably millions of dollars worth of stuff. Other scams include tricking kids with valuable items only to trade them for far more inferior ones. Essentially, just taking advantage of children's lack of game knowledge, dude. You know, everyone's done that. That's if you know what, I'm not even counting that as a fucking negative. That's in every game. You have a dope sword. Does this one look cool? Yeah. You can trade them? No!
You forgot I had other connections, huh? Someone's mad.
That's one thing that I guess Roblox and a lot of new games have is you get to hear the real anguish in a child's voice whenever something wrong happens in a game. And it fills me with so much joy.
Oh yeah.
It's nice. It's not only confined to you as a child anymore. You get to just hear the anguish of other children getting scammed out of pixelated, I don't know, fedoras or something like that. And some scammers, however, resort to creating their own experiences promising free Robux, only to program in-game prompts that convince players to put in sensitive information. You want a reward? Gotta put in your Wells Fargo bank information. Your mom, go find out what it is. Really? Yeah, your social security. Your mom and dad's marriage certificate. Their license uploaded as a PDF. Really? Okay.
Take a picture of your mom.
Take a picture of your mom's panties and upload it to the drive. Upload it to the Roblox cloud. And in some cases, people are convinced to purchase items off of Roblox platform using third-party sites, resulting in major financial losses. Which leads us into Roblox's shady business practices. Yeah, we're talking about scammers, but what about the main cube men themselves? Roblox, Mr. Roblox, how he's scamming its users, right? Roblox really gets its rocks off, manipulating children into spending obscene amounts of money on the game, right? I think that they giggle, they chortle, they rub their bellies, and they're just like, I can't believe they're still spending. It's gotten to a point where it does feel malicious. It feels targeted. There are plenty of ways the game pushes people to spend money in Roblox, which is easy to do for children who aren't spending their own money in the game, right? When you have mommy and daddy's credit card, Roblox is a good time.
That's what my nephew's doing to my brother.
Oh, dude.
I want a $40 tank. He was like bugging me.
Dude, I was on the phone with you. Or I heard you on the phone when he was like begging you.
Yeah. He's like, please download this game. Please. At first he told me to buy it. He's like, you need to buy it. I was like, no.
Dude, it's every child's right to be able to beg and bitch and complain to their relatives. I remember when I was a kid, I was probably 14 at the time. I remember the Super Nintendo just came out. I wrote my mom a note, slipped it under the door. Dear Mom, if you buy me this Nintendo, I will literally never ask for anything ever again in my fucking life. Please, Mom, please. I think everyone's had that one experience before in their life because you're too much of a coward to face them in person. Many limited time cosmetics and items will be released that rush kids to purchase things before they miss out. FOMO, baby. Roblox is inducing FOMO. For those that miss out, they can purchase the item in a secondary market from those willing to sell them for an absurd amount of money, obviously. upcharge. In this way, items in Roblox become a sort of stock market, complete with a price chart that shows the rise and fall of valuable items over time. You're getting a social economic stat. You're getting Wall Street in Roblox with fedoras, tanks, and that kind of stuff to see if things are appreciating or not and seeing if you got in at a good time. There are children that are 8 years old on Roblox that are talking the same way 65-year-old men do on Wall Street. Oh, remember when it was that price? I got in while the getting was good.
Did you know that Oblivion, I think, was the first microtransaction?
Oblivion was? Of course it was Bethesda.
It was DLC whores. It was like $5 and everyone threw a fucking fit. I'm pretty sure.
Fact check him. Who's the guy who runs it? Todd what?
Todd Howard.
Todd Howard, a little rat that snake. So you want to buy the horse? So can't you just upload it? You could.
It costs money to develop stuff.
Not going to. Oblivion's like one of the ugliest fucking games I've ever seen in my life.
What?
Looking at some of those people and you square up like they're like this, the NPCs. You go up and you press to talk to them and they do. In my opinion, there's a charm to that, but when I look at it, I'm like, this is a sick fuck.
Yeah, the textures are very muddy.
Only a sick fuck would play this game, dude.
I played it.
Of course you played it, dude. I think I tried playing Morrowind on the original Xbox, and I was like, this is one of the lamest things I've ever seen in my life. I was too busy playing Oddworld.
And getting pussy.
Well, yes. It was the Oddworlds where it was like
Stranger's Wrath.
Yes.
Yeah, that one's great.
Yeah, a little first-person shooter with the talking ammunition and stuff.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Critters.
Yeah. I do love looking at this price chart. How many kids do you think log into this and they're just like, okay, this is looking good. My portfolio is looking really good right now. Some items have amassed an absurd value. Well, first off, do we know how much a 1 Robux is? Is 1 Robux $1?
No, they never do that. It's like League of Legends. A skin will be like 1,000, right? But they don't offer 1,000 options.
You have to
it's
go
800 or 1,500.
Why do I feel like I want the Todd Howards to blame? You, Todd, I'm coming for you. Lock your doors, bitch. Here's 2 items that are very, very pricey, I think. They sound pricey. The first one, and ladies and gentlemen, this does look good. Midnight Blue Sparkle Time Fedora for a crisp 40 million Robux. Bruh. That's how much it is in real life with real money. Well, real money. Robux is the true currency. And then we step it up even further. We go to the big dogs with the Dominus Frigidus, which is 400 million Robux, baby. If somebody saw that and they knew, you think people can get pussy that way?
Oh, yeah. Within Roblox, you're getting tons of pussy.
No, I'm saying like, yes, obviously in Roblox, people are like fake, sucking and fucking in the game, sure. But I'm saying like, if someone just like, oh, this guy's like well off. Like, do you think that there's little money chasers in the game where there's like, hey.
Oh, yeah.
You want to fly me out?
There's probably some Discords where people are showing off their, like.
Dude, people are swapping stinkhole pictures for all kinds of stuff, dude.
So it seems it is almost a 1-to-1. $4.99, you get 500. For $200, you get 24,000.
Wait, what? So how much is 40 million then? That's what the fucking fedora was. The Midnight Blue Sparkle Time Fedora.
That's a couple 100,000.
So then the Dominus Frigidus is millions of dollars? In real life currency? What?
Those are them Robux wells. The
no wonder
Saudi
then.
prince.
Well, no wonder then, because of course Roblox makes sure to take 30% cut of all transactions users make in game. That's like some Steam shit. How much does Steam take? Like if you upload your game, oh yeah, it's 30%. That's crazy.
It's the platform. It's the biggest PC platform.
Dude, okay, so we're gonna take half. Oh, that's almost half of your fucking like. Every time we sell a game, almost half of that goes to Steam. How is that? And then yeah, hey, I just sold my fedora, my nighttime fedora for like, let's just say $200,000. Okay, we're gonna have to take 30% of that. Fuck you, Roblox. But to avoid this, some users utilize black market sites in order to carry out the sale for a higher profit. See, that's what I like. I like that users are just like, send me the money, I'll send you a fucking flash drive with the file on it. Often, this leads to the previously mentioned phishing scams and delivering of hidden files containing malware. And in 2021, Roblox was hit with a federal class action lawsuit for deleting items belonging to Roblox users with no warning or refund, despite Roblox already collecting their 30% cut. This is due to items supposedly breaking their content policy, but users spend absurd amounts of money for certain cosmetics and were surprised to see that they weren't compensated. That's pretty funny though. Roblox is just like, we got to get rid of it. And they're like, well, am I going to get my 30% back from you? It's like a Roblox guy, he just like runs away. I like to think too that the Roblox people only interact with its community through Roblox characters. But it's not just in-game items. Even big companies are pushing real-life brands in-game to its users. Is there Pizza Hut in Roblox?
There was, I don't know if this was brand sponsored, but there was a McDonald's one where you just sit there and people come in and you take orders and you like go in the back and you just like pretend you're making something and then you like hand them.
It's so odd, man. It has to tap into some kind of part of your brain where you're just like, oh, this is just totally relaxing to me.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but I wish I could get there.
It's like the farm simulators too.
Oh, dude. Well, yeah, the farm simulator, I think it's because it's satisfying. Because if you see the crops and then you mow them over, it's like, ooh, that's, you know, it's the same as like the power washer thing. It's like it's like a tick. I have to clean it or whatever. It's satisfying at first. Dude, I started getting headaches playing that game because you'd sit there and be like, where the f is the last part I didn't do? So you're like spraying everything. I felt like a schizophrenic dude. But more and more massive brands are creating high budget Roblox games that essentially act as playable advertisements. Games like Chipotle Burrito Builder.
Do you think they're doing those Chipotle hacks where they're like, instead of getting the full burrito?
What is it? The meat hack or something like that? Isn't there some kind of...
What you could do is like you can order everything separate and then cheaper.
Yeah, and you combine it.
Yeah.
Dude, there's some devious fucking people that plan out there. Or the Circus Dole Tycoon. Did you ever play Roller Coaster Tycoon in any of those games?
I played Pizza Tycoon.
I remember playing Roller Coaster Tycoon and it gave me a panic attack when I was younger. Like I was like watching it and I was like, made me freak out.
Why? Is it because like you didn't want to upset your customers?
No. I was playing, my uncle was sitting there, he's like, check this out. And he like pressed the keyboard and the roller coaster went and it was so chaotic. And I was like, I don't know why. I felt like I was trapped in my seat and I was like, like, I don't know if I felt like I was riding it or not. My dad came in, he was like, what the f is going on? Or Spotify Island. You can't forget Vans World. And last but certainly not least, the Hyundai Mobility Adventure. I like how there's 8-year-olds just like, yeah, my mom has the Hyundai Sonata. It fucking rips. I fucking love that Sonata. And many feel that it's potentially harmful to have children interacting with Roblox experiences that are solely focused on pushing their brand. While a child only briefly looks at a TV commercial, some may sit and play games like McDonald's Land Tycoon for hours on end. Dude, you're being advertised to every single.
This video is sponsored by Magic Spoon. Thank you to Magic Spoon for sponsoring this video, and back to the video.
Second. According to a postdoctoral research associate in psychology at the University of Liverpool, quote, exposure to unhealthy food marketing and traditional advert games is associated with greater preferences for and more positive attitudes towards marketed unhealthy foods and brands, and also greater subsequent consumption of these foods. Fuck off.
Yeah. Blah.
So if he watches McDonald's, he's probably gonna want McDonald's. That's weird. A kid wants cheeseburgers and fries. He was a celery man before. He loved baby spinach, but now he just wants chocolate milk. I don't know, dude. These fucking stupid ass scientists. Ultimately, Roblox was pushed to update their advertising guidelines as a result, but many still take issue with the fact that there are so many advertisements-based Roblox experiences, which right now, ladies and gentlemen, there's over 500. Listen, I think it's part of the meme too, though. I don't think people are going in and doing the McDonald's thing because they're just like, I just love McDonald's. I think it's kind of part of the meme. Also, it's something you know.
Yeah, they know what a McDonald's is and they want to like participate in it, or yeah, they've seen videos of other people doing it.
Yeah, it's all a part about like the cultural stuff. Like if there's probably some TikTok that blew up that had like a Roblox McDonald's thing, it's gonna pop off. But Nick, goddamn it, that's not the only exploitation, right? It doesn't stop there. Roblox advertises that young game developers on the platform are able to make a living creating Roblox experiences by joining the developer exchange program, provided that they are at least 13 years old. Thank you, Roblox. How old are you? I'm 12. Yeah, you need to be 13 to get paid out by us, actually. Essentially, people create experiences and enable in-games perks that cost Robux. When players purchase them, they can receive a smaller portion of the sale in Robux that can be converted to real dollars, is essentially the fucking pyramid scheme that's at play here. And there are many high-quality Roblox experiences that feel refined enough to be their own video game outside of the platform. Games like Roblox Frontlines, a shooter game that looks straight out of the modern Call of Duty style game. I will say this, it's pretty fucking impressive.
Yeah, that actually looks good.
It looks sick. I've seen clips of it, and I was always like, oh, what the fuck is this? But never played it yet, but it looks good. Roblox Doors, a multiplayer horror game inspired by Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion. Oh yeah, hey, that's Albino Moose Games. Don't they do Spookies? Sheena? Am I high?
No, she does Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion.
Yeah, shout out Sheena. Albino Moose Games at Spookies. Rainbow Friends, a massively popular multiplayer horror game where players are trapped in an amusement park and have to complete tasks while avoiding monsters, aka Poppy Playtime Friday Nights at Freddy's meme. It's insane the amount of experience variety you'll find on Roblox, from shooters to horror games to VR chat rooms. It's like a never-ending ocean of content, which is also why I think it makes it so appealing to friend groups or like young kids. It's just like you hop in for a second, hop out. It's like an endless variety. You'll go from a game that looks like a modern next-gen console release next to an obstacle course where you have to scream in order to jump. And this is actually, I love this one. So many good games where I'm like, if you were with your friends when you were younger, of course, this would be sick. For every successful Roblox experience, however, there are far more stories of experiences that failed to take off. A YouTuber named People Make Games made a viral video that heavily criticized the way that Roblox's ecosystem directly exploits young game developers trying to make a name for themselves. It turns out that Roblox takes 30% of all profits made from your Roblox experience. Hardworking game devs are not taking home that remaining 70%. With a conversion rate of 0.0035, a developer exchanging 100,000 Robux makes a measly $350. You know, it's kind of like, it reminds me of Machinima.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Getting all those people to make like fucking Call of Duty clips, doing 360 no scopes or throwing the tomahawk at the beginning of the map and clipping that. And then it's like, this video got crazy numbers. And then they send you a check for like $300. But if you're a kid, you're like, no way! Keep in mind, you also need a premium Roblox monthly subscription to even access this feature. So you gotta pay to get paid, all right? You also need to hit a minimum of 30,000 Robux before you can cash out, which seems to encourage less successful creators to eventually give up on making a profit, opting to just spend the Robux in-game instead. So basically you have to make an absurd amount, and if you don't, then you're like, ah, fuck it, I'll just like, I'm gonna play the game anyways, I might as well spend it. So then Roblox gets to... Very nice. I wonder what's in here. Does it talk about who's made the most money off Roblox? If there's any information on that, put them up here. What's their net worth? How much do they make? The fuck? There's got to be some people who know how to like game the system or something like that, but it's Roblox, baby. It's cutthroat. For people that want to pay extra to promote their game, they must purchase another unique currency known as ad credits that cost 285 Robux each. I love how it just never goes outside the Robux currency. All right, well, you'll have to buy another credit with our own credit. I bet you after a while, they're going to be like, no USD, only Bitcoin. I bet you anything that's what happens here pretty soon, dude. You need to purchase a minimum of 10 at a time, and when you do, then you enter a sort of bidding war with other creators to have your game advertised in the best/most viable spots. So not only do you have to buy a minimum of 10 of them, but now you also you're just like, God, I hope it gets a good spot. Please get a good spot. Essentially, Roblox maximizes profits by creating a very difficult and often unsustainable dev ecosystem that has resulted in many creators becoming burned out at a very young age. Newsflash, get a normal fucking job, dude. How about you don't build games in Roblox? I'm burnt out. Go outside. You're a child. If you were like a 40-year-old and you're like, this is all I have, I'd be like, well, buddy, I don't know, this is the fucking ship you swam in on. But I don't know if you're a kid and you're like, I burnt out, Bob. I did a break. It's like, off, dude. Some of these experiences end up having giant teams as they need more and more designers to maintain their popularity and elevate things. This often leads devs outside the Roblox community and to game dev Discord groups, sometimes even signing contracts to work for people who may very well be children as well. There's no way the money can be worth it. You're having a child sign an employment agreement? Word?
Come on, they're at least 13.
Are you at least 13? Yeah. Like, no, camera. All right, I believe you. Show me your ID. All right, we do need the help maintaining Poppy's Playtime Roblox edition. For many young, up-and-coming game devs, this can result in unfair business practices. The claims of child exploitation began escalating to the point where Turkey had banned Roblox outright. This resulted in groups of children protesting the streets of Turkey, chanting, "Roblox, come back." Roblox, come back. Roblox! You think like the 16-year-old or like the 17-year-old that's there, you think he's just like, what am I doing? Or is he just the guardian? I don't know, he's chanting with him. I mean, listen, it's an unruly group of children, but it's nothing like...
I thought it was much bigger.
Yeah, I mean, if it was like, you know, Mardi Gras, like the French Quarters, like that packed, I would be like, holy shit. is crazy. But let's get outside of the money-making stuff. Let's talk about more of the player-created experiences where some of the juicy, explicit, weird shit starts to happen. Because I know that's why you all decided to click this video. We can start with Roblox condos, aka their virtual sex games. In Roblox, these characters, you're gonna see a lot of that. As exciting as it is that children have an outlet to create whatever they want, user-generated content in Roblox sometimes delves into something much darker, like Roblox condo servers. Condos are sexually inappropriate games that find ways around Roblox's moderation filters. This results in the creation of games focused around dating, talking about, and engaging in sexual activities through the use of uniquely coded animations. Granted, they're pretty funny. There's a lot of them that are very, very funny, but you have to remember that, once again, don't forget that half the world's children are playing this game, which makes it, I would say, pretty creepy. I would say all in all pretty creepy. Some maps in this genre include digital strip clubs and red light districts. Oh, baby. Often, these games are created and banned incredibly fast, sometimes in under an hour. While Roblox had moderation tools set to catch things like this, they are constantly re-emerging in new locations under different accounts. Like how people are just like, we need our fix. Think about like people deleting and they're like, we need to make a new one. We gotta get back in there. Just go to a real strip club, dude. Well, I don't. Do they take Robux? Do you think that even in these things, they probably can't moderate how old a person is to let him in, right?
No, that's why they just ban them. It's against TOS.
I see. As you would expect, not all users in these servers are children, and it seems that many try to move their conversations onto different apps outside of Roblox. People use Roblox as a connecting tool to get a little puppy, get some boy butt, do whatever they can, man. Little horn dogs. People are horny. It's a primal human evolutionary trait, man. People just trying to get that dog out of them. Oof, oof.
I think it is mostly children.
It's got to definitely be.
Because I remember I played StarCraft 2, and there's a very infamous map where 10 people can join to see a nude of Britney Spears. And all it was is you join in the lobby, the game would start, it'd play like a little animation, and then when the map end, it would like show like a nude of her, and then it would end, and then you just keep clicking that, getting in the lobby.
get back in. Get back in. An exciting time for the early days of the internet. But you know, not all of these extreme servers are just sexual by nature, right? Inappropriate Roblox servers like this have existed in the past, sometimes taking a turn towards the extreme roleplay side. Some people were able to get away with creating Third Reich roleplay servers in inappropriate settings. People were literally creating World War II Germany and Roblox. It's very odd. We can't show. You know, you blur it, but I'm just saying. Some servers gave the ability to roleplay as members of the KKK and enact vicious hate crimes as a Roblox character. And in other experiences, players get to dress up and reenact terrorist attacks. And I mean, God. According to a Hindenburg research report, Roblox was found to be an X-rated pedophile hellscape exposing children to grooming, pornography, violent content, and extremely abusive speech. God damn. When you started off as an X-rated pedophile hellscape, imagine being the parent of a child who plays Roblox, whatever, and you're just like, you want to take some time off there, big man? I can't. Me and my friends are going into an experience right now. It details a list of alarming examples of people abusing the game to do harm to children. Like a case in 2018 when a 29-year-old man groomed and engaged in inappropriate behavior with 150 minors.
Jeez.
God damn. When he was arrested, the police found 175 hours of footage showing proof of these demented acts. 175 hours. You know, whenever you see somebody that looks kind of weird online, that people look in the comment section, they're just like terabytes. This is one of the guys that is actually like that. During their research, they found a now removed community group called Adult Studios, where thousands of members would solicit sexual acts from minors as well as trade CP, and many other similar groups are found as well. Hundreds of Roblox experiences relating to Jeffrey Epstein and P. Diddy easily got past their moderation filters, allowing games like Escape to Epstein Island and Diddy Party to run uninterrupted for a long time.
That's just trolls, though. It's just a funny meme.
I mean, it is, but it's still, whenever there's so much other actual pedophilia going on the side, it's just one of those things where it's like, really? That's just not a filter? So you can have a game called Escape to and also Escape to Epstein's Island. And the thumbnail is just, goddamn. Other vulgar games include experiences such as Beat Up Homeless outside 7-Eleven Simulator or Beat Up the Pregnant. Children are the most cruel, just unbelievably evil people on the planet. They just have no filter, so they're just like, yeah, I'm beating up the homeless outside of 7-Eleven. But me and my friends are gonna log on to Beat Up the Pregnant Women server, and your mom's just like, okay, and just shuts the door. But unfortunately, many play Roblox with much more sinister intentions. Didn't we just get done talking about files. Many play Roblox not just to talk with people online in sinister ways, right? For all the kind of weird stuff that we just talked about. But some people want to take it a step further and take the people from the Roblox experience into real life. Like a 38-year-old man who's given a child's address over Roblox, so he comes over with his fly down only to get confronted by their mother. And according to him, he just wanted to do some Minecraft stuff together.
You think you finna come in my house and play with my 12-year-old?
No, bro. Say we can do Minecraft and stuff.
It looks like a fucking To Catch a Predator episode. It's haunting.
It's like a 5-year-old is like, you know this man? He's like, yeah.
Why are you sending this grown man our address? He your friend. How old are you?
38.
38?
Yeah.
Do you know how old?
Dude, how old are you? I'm 38. What were you gonna do with a 12-year-old? I don't know.
What's crazy is when I was 8, 10, 12 years old, I wanted to talk to older people because I thought they're cool. But now as an adult, I see that's like wildly inappropriate.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to think if I was 10, 11, 12, whatever. I don't think I've ever been like, how old are you? The guy's like 40. And I'm like, oh, you're cool. I'm usually just like prehistoric bitch. You don't know shit about this, dude. I'm young. You're old. You're gonna die soon. You know that? That's what the heartless thing. So you might have been somebody to give your address out on Roblox. Come hang out with me. Come on. My door code is this. Beep.
My mom and dad go to bed at 10 o'clock.
My mom and dad are gonna be in Cancun for 3 weeks. I'm gonna be here all alone. They keep calling me Kevin McAllister. Dude, what are we? Is this the rest of this just file shit?
There's one sad story to end on.
Of course. You know, in some instances, not everything's sexual, dude. Sometimes it's something as cool as a woman convincing a child to kill another infant. You know, Roblox is awesome. Such as 36-year-old Tara Alexis Sykes, who was arrested in 2024 for aggravated child abuse. This began on Roblox, where the woman had been conversating with her 10-year-old daughter. It seems that the daughter was no longer living with Sykes, instead staying with 2 temporary guardians. Sykes began giving her instructions on how to kill both of her guardians, quote, by cutting their throats with a knife while they slept and burning their house by dosing bed sheets in aerosol spray and setting them on fire. Now imagine that, but it's 2 Roblox characters standing in front of each other, okay? This extended to her 2-month-old infant as well, where she requested that she kill him by either drowning, burning, or dropping him.
How fucking sadistic do you have to be to tell, like, a fucking child this?
The young girl was terrified of her mother and felt that disobeying her would somehow lead to her being killed. Because of this, she exited the room to pick up her 2-month-old infant before dropping her to the floor. The baby was rushed to the hospital and found to have a skull fracture, and Sykes was arrested.
I'm hoping the child is fine, besides the brain damage.
You know, we were going to do this video. I thought that we were just going to be looking at funny clips of voice chats and stuff, but Roblox is a very scary place and you should stay away from Roblox. If you're a child, get off Roblox, please. I'm sure that there's good spots on Roblox. It's not that the whole thing is fucking terrible, of course, but...
Me and my buddies, we play Roblox. We have our own little server. We all met on Roblox in the McDonald's experience.
I don't know what you do in your free time. All I know is I feel like Roblox has become too big for its own good. Too many kids on. I'd say just wipe it. I think if
what?
I think get rid of it.
Destroy it. No.
I think get rid of it, dude. You have Minecraft. I feel like Minecraft exists. You don't need all other stuff.
It's different because you can change your character and you can do funny animations, funny sounds. There's a lot to it. It's complex. Yeah, there's evil people everywhere.
There's evil people everywhere. That's true. But I think whenever half of the world's population of children,
half of America's population,
the world. I don't know, dude. This shit left a sour taste in my mouth. God damn, man.
You want to get on my server and I can show you around my penthouse suite?
Okay, let's go. Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Come in and sit on down because today we're talking about GameStop. Nowadays, if you want to play a game, chances are you're only seconds away from being able to purchase and start playing immediately. But back in the day, however, most people had no choice but to buy physical copies of games that they wanted, usually from various stores. Even before online, you had to go outside, go to a store. It's horrible.
Or buy it through the mail and wait 6 months.
Yeah, you could use GameFly. Is that still a thing? Is GameFly still? There's no way GameFly is still a thing, right? Among the variety of video game retailers, the most well-known was undoubtedly GameStop. For a time, it was the biggest video game retailer in the world. But over time, what used to be a cornerstone of gaming culture has slowly faded out of relevance due to the rise of online marketplaces. But it's not like GameStop was infallible before the eventual decline. In fact, throughout the retailer's long history, there have been many reasons to criticize the company for how it's run. So today, we're gonna talk about why the GameStop is so terrible. This video is sponsored by BB Theaters. Please, if you're buy one, go support them because they supported this video. Yeah, let's get back to the video. But first, we have to talk about how GameStop began. Babbage's was a humble software retailer founded in 1984 by David R. Carlson in Dallas, Texas. The store was very popular, and they eventually began selling video games and other forms of entertainment software. And after merging with a retailer, Software Etc., and facing financial trouble, it was bought by Leonard Riaggio, a major stockholder of Barnes & Noble, in 2000. The company bought another rival chain, Funko, and rebranded itself as GameStop. Hello?
Hey, Hunter, this is Dr. Mitchell. I'm afraid I have some bad news regarding
By 2005, they had become a massive company to the point that they were able to successfully merge with their largest competitor, EB Games, in a $1.44 billion deal. This led them to become the biggest gaming retailer at the time. And GameStop has become the leading spot to not only purchase games and consoles, but also trade in used games to make some of their money back. This is something that everyone nowadays seems to have the biggest gripe with. So, firstly, I want to talk about GameStop's terrible, terrible trade-in policy.
This is how they make most of their money.
This is how GameStop, if you're wondering, how are they still open? It's this. Okay, this is it. The trade-in policy, that's how the lights are fucking staying on. People bring in their used games in order to receive either in-store credit or cash. That being said, the GameStop trade-in values for games are known to be laughably low and have been memed into oblivion on the internet for, decades. Probably since they fucking opened. Probably since GameStop was even a name. People were like, you're gonna trade in there? Really? Are you sure? Part of what's insulting about this, however, is that trading games were marked up for far more before being put back on shelf to sell to other customers. So they would sell it in and then they're gonna mark it up hundreds of percentile, right?
Yeah, $7 game and they put it up for 60 bucks.
And then some hapless son of a bitch is gonna come in and could buy it off the shelf and they're just like, oh, that's rent, baby. We're getting rent, hand over fist. Even recently, someone made a post about how they went to a GameStop to trade in nearly a complete collection of amiibos because he no longer had the space for them in a new college apartment, also in their amiibos. A set that could easily be worth thousands of dollars was traded in for $1,300. When I say thousands, I mean $5,000, $6,000. They gave him $1,300. And this sent the internet into an uproar over how badly he was lowballed, which at the same time, you have to ask yourself, my God, find someone else to buy it. Which, to be fair, people usually are in these positions where they're just like, I just don't care. I want it out. I want it gone. I don't want to have to go through the whole process of selling them one by one. But I think in today's reseller economy, I think that you could sell that, even being like $2,500.
Yeah.
Give me half. I feel like there are other options.
He could have definitely been like nearly complete set on eBay, buy it all in one.
Buy it all in one or make best offer, whatever,
Yeah.
and handle it that way.
Exactly.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Of course, the employees are just doing as they're told at GameStop, so you can't put it all on them. But in fact, it seems that a ton of GameStop employees hate the process of trade-ins because it invites some particularly odd encounters, aka people who are emotionally not well, people who also steal things to resell them. Like the amount of times that I worked, when I worked at my, the place that I worked at in Kansas City, the amount of times that it was just like clearly things stolen from Walmart, and you're like, I don't think I can take this. They're like, what do you mean? It's like, it's gets 18 sealed copies of Grand Theft Auto 5. I just can't. I cannot do it. Here's a list of weird occurrences employees have witnessed trying to process trade-ins with customers. 1. A man came in with his wife to trade in his copy of Dishonored, only to find his secret porn stash inside of it. That's just a good day to me. Ironic substance to be found in a game called Dishonored. One employee was given a PS2 with a condom stuffed in the hard drive slot, and he was also given PS3 games that the customer admitted were used as weed ashtrays. Another employee inspected a PS4 and opened it to find that it was overflowing with cockroaches.
That's very common.
That's gotta be super common. And according to one ex-employee, he had seen used syringes, dead centipedes, and used condoms. He's like, it was a crazy weekend. A customer came in to sell 50 DS games, each of which were fake, and someone brought in a box for a controller filled with rocks. He assured them that was what was in the box when he bought it, and the store leader somehow decided to pay him out. What? And one man tried to ask if they would take in some appliances like his washing machine. And a strange customer who seemed to be tweaking came in with a stolen coffee maker and told the employee, quote, I know y'all take video games, but what about coffee makers to make some coffee for your gaming sessions?
That's a good sales pitch.
He's just like, hello? You boys like to stay up all night and game with your Nancy's. And in a more sad turn of events, because we have to do it to you, a man was trading in his old Xbox 360 while the employee worked on wiping his hard drive. They discussed his Xbox achievements. The man suddenly got sentimental and decided he no longer wanted to trade it in, but it was too late. Everything was wiped and left sad. Which I love the idea of a guy just be like, you know what, never mind. The guy's like, oh, oops. Which also, by that point, I'm like, why don't you, it's done. It is kind of fucked up mentally though. So are you sure I'm deleting all this memories? That's it? That's all you want? Okay. It's like already deleting. Yeah. It's kind of fucked up.
Sitting there thinking about it. Well, you know.
Oh shit, actually, you know what? I guess this isn't worth the $13 you're giving me for my system. And lastly, a former employee reveals that someone tried to trade in the belt she was wearing to keep her pants up. I don't know why the belt you would do that, but that's just some of the things. And also, you know, when people trade stuff in, the amount of like, dude, dusty, gross, grimy, and like you said, cockroaches, or the amount of shit that you see traded in that's just like reeks of cigarette smoke. Ugh.
Yeah.
Brutal. And people have always chastised GameStop for its horrible trade-in value and inability to care for the customers. So let's talk about when GameStop was at its absolute worst with the Circle of Life program. In order to maximize profits, to understand why it was implemented, here's GameStop's ideal customer cycle. 1. Customer pre-orders game by paying a deposit. You gotta put money down. 2. Customer uses their trade-in program to get money back after completing the game for way less than the actual value. 3. Customers ask for store credit instead of lower return cash option, then uses it to buy another game. 4. The now marked up used game is put back on the shelf to repeat the process with someone else. You like that? Do you feel good about how that's the circle of life? And then 5, you die. You're dead. There it is. That's my life. Each employee has something referred to as Cole score, based on things like used game sales, pre-orders, trade-ins, and because used games have higher profit margin, it was aggressively pushed to employees as the priority over selling brand new games.
Yeah, have you seen that? They'd be like, Grand Theft Auto would be like $60, but like, you get the used version for 50.
Are you sure you just don't want to get the one that somebody has already opened and touched and fondled with? $10 cheaper. Come on. Come on. Cole score. He has like a fucking like marker on his arm. He's like, my Cole score's low. To avoid having a low score that threatened their job, GameStop employees were pressured to lie to their customers about the stock of new games and consoles. One employee admits that a launch day for a brand new game could literally screw him over for the entire week because he would then have to sell way more pre-owned games to keep his score up. So it's like, yeah, you might have sold a shit ton of new games, but GameStop's gonna be like, why aren't the used games selling? Yeah, I think I might get fired. It's a fun working condition. Employees essentially became the gaming version of a sleazy used car salesman. It would be pushy and endlessly talk up their pre-owned titles and sometimes not even mention the price until the last possible second. And another employee states that this system would put the store in constant state of crisis, stating, quote, 1 week, we desperately needed trades. The next few weeks, we need to focus on pre-owned. Then, because we focused on trades and pre-owned, we didn't get pre-orders. Some claim that the entire stores were fired over the coal system, while others state that these were simply edge cases. But regardless, after enough pushback, GameStop's made changes on how to run their stores. They removed the coal scores for individual employees and made it so the entire store just had one score to work on. Today, it's not clear if they still utilize a system similar to the cycle of life, but I'm sure there's some GameStop employees watching this right now, and if it is, please tell me. I'd like to know. How does it feel working in hell? Do you like hell? You think there's probably just GameStop lifers, right? I've been here since I was 18.
Oh yeah.
You know?
There's like 6-year-olds now that've been working there since the beginning.
2005. How old were they when they started? Hasn't GameStop only been around since like 2000? So I guess he was in his 40s.
35.
All right, there you go. Either way, GameStop still upholds a reputation for treating their customers poorly. So let's talk about a little recent example that just happened. The Switch 2 controversy. Multiple GameStop customers have been reporting that their Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders were being canceled. This has been happening to random people over the past few months, but started to heavily ramp up in late May, with only days left until the release of the console. It gets worse for one specific GameStop location in Astoria, as they were revealed to be pushing customers to spend way more than they intended. After people wait all night to get their consoles pre-ordered, they were supposedly told that the SKU number can't be processed for just a console. They used this to push people to splurge on more expensive bundles and accessories. And one customer secretly filmed himself throughout the entire process, spending hundreds of dollars to lock in his pre-order.
So what's the minimum you have to, is it a price you have to hit, or is it?
It's item quantity.
Okay, so I'll do the 1 terabyte micro SD. And then I'll do Is this like at every GameStop that they're doing this, or is it just a specific one?
I don't really speak for this one. I'm pretty sure it's an all-around GameStop.
Okay, interesting.
Jesus.
After the post went viral, GameStop responded on Twitter by saying they were actively investigating the store and offering pre-orders to anyone who were turned away. Despite them trying to make things right, it further showcases the pressure put on GameStop stores specifically to hit their quotas, even if it means massively fucking over their customers, you know, just by being like, we gotta sell controllers. If we don't sell controllers, I want to know who's the guy where it's like, you don't want Bob to come down. Like corporate, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, Bob's coming this week, and he's like, there's a lot of controllers in the back room. This place is shut down permanently. I've been working here since I was 35. I'm 60 now. He's like, that math adds up. By now, it should be clear that working for GameStop can be a bit of a fucking nightmare. So let's talk about why people hate working at GameStop. Many people think GameStop is a great first job, right? Because they can make money in an environment they're passionate about. I love video games. I want to work at GameStop, right?
Kind of reminds me of like those commercials of people doing the tester games.
I'm having so much fun testing video games.
Yeah, it's so fun playing this game.
I can't believe we got jobs doing this. I know. And my mom said I would never get anywhere with these games.
Those that go to the massive r/GameStop subreddit to ask if it's a good idea to put an application to work there are bombarded with current or ex-employees desperately trying to chase them away. Run while you still can. I mean, one response reads, you can run. Work anywhere else. You think you want to work here, but you don't. Find a local retro game store to apply to instead. This is not a video game job. It's a sales job with zero benefits or incentives that happens to involve video games. Sometimes. Another person explains,
GameStop is not a relaxed work experience at all. Full stop. If you're not good at pushing memberships, warranties, and game protection, they will threaten your job until you get stuff by any means necessary.
During interactions with customers, you are constantly trying to sell them on pre-orders, warranties, used games, add-ons, or accessories, and pro memberships, which is essentially a GameStop reward program that provides benefits for a yearly fee. Because of this, employees' interactions become a meme due to how obnoxious they are. There are many stories of employees being treated so terribly that they eventually reach their breaking point. Even in a situation where someone was once robbed at a gunpoint, they were blamed by their store leader and told not to give in by complying too easily. You might get shot, okay? But the Halo 3 edition, really, guys, we're gonna lose profit here. Bob's coming.
You don't want to lose all that, those,
The coal score.
The coal, exactly.
The goddamn coal score for the show, right? Or for the store. If you get shot, we'll give you a day off.
Do you think they're like, do you want to take the new games instead?
Yeah, instead of robbing our money, what if you just took 3 new games and like 3 pre-ordered games, and that would balance out our coal score? And the guy's just like, in another robbery that took place in Pennsylvania, $5,000 worth of PS5s were stolen after being violently threatened by 2 men. This led to a top-performing GameStop manager of 13 years being fired, as if it was his responsibility to fight off the thieves for the beautiful, delicious Japanese gaming system. Several employees quit in protest, and it wasn't the first time employees rallied together against the upper management. In 2023, a Michigan GameStop was managed so horribly that every single employee quit at the same time. It occurred on an important day, the release of Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. However, customers came into the store only to find a letter posted on the wall that read, quote, "Unfortunately, due to poor working conditions, the staff of Brighton GameStop have decided to resign, effective immediately. Management overworkers, underpays, and underappreciated its frontline workers, set its unrealistic expectations and constantly threatens termination for any employees that cannot exceed them." And they're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go to Walmart."
I'm just gonna go to Walmart.
That's where the customers are like, "Oh, okay." And they probably just turn around and leave.
There's a lot of people who've been doing that in like retail stores and fast food. They'll just put up a sign like Popeyes, be like, "Popeyes corporate hates us. There's only 3 of us today. We're just not working today."
I see that. I've seen that with like Starbucks meetings with people being like, "You can't enforce this," or whatever, that kind of stuff. And it's always funny when they have like someone's there recording it and they like pan over and there's the managers who are just like so smugly being like, "You motherfuckers. You're all dead." The same thing happened in 2022, a year prior, in Nebraska, where every employee walked out and left an angry letter on the front door. And according to one employee, they were undertrained, verbally abused, and had their jobs threatened at every turn. And employees at GameStop have to deal with way more obnoxious customers than people may realize. One employee posted about how, after fully organizing the Funko Pop wall, a mother brought along her child and let them climb all over the shelves and destroy the entire display. 15 minutes later, after she left, they get a call about how the employees were racist for keeping an eye on her child. I don't know about that one. In one post, a customer was denied a return of a controller that had clearly been smashed to pieces. The man left after being threatened and called slurs for 30 minutes, only to run back inside and attempt jumping over the counter to attack him. He left after the employees threatened to call the police. And one employee posted a video he took in the store where a man is denied a return of his copy of Fallout 76 because he doesn't have a receipt. He becomes so infuriated that he starts destroying the entire store on his way out.
Hi, welcome to GameStop.
And in a more extreme response, one man loses it after demanding a Steam code, claiming his didn't work. After being denied this, he told the employees that he planted a bomb in the store earlier that day, which would apparently go off if he did not give him a store code. An entire section of the mall had to be evacuated because of this bomb threat.
Didn't Chris Chan also attack
I think Chris Chan
pepper sprayed somebody?
Pepper sprayed somebody. I
At
think there's a video.
GameStop.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one thing to encounter aggressive customers, but what about the weirdos, right? It's no surprise that GameStops might attract some odd characters. According to one ex-employee, a man that was talking to him was so open about his life that he ended up showing her a picture of his diaper collection on his phone. Would you like that? Another customer came in because of the help wanted sign on the window, only to say that he has to confirm how far the nearest elementary school is before he can officially apply.
Oh, because he's a...
In an infamous video, members of the FaZe clan walk into a GameStop thinking the employees will recognize them. They're met with mostly silence and leave the store after flaunting their millions of YouTube subscribers to grown adults. It's horrible. Good God. There was also a man that came in to try and trade in a bunch of Gooner games like Leisure Suit Larry, The Guy Game, and Playboy Mansion. He was asked to leave because there was all over his cases.
Oh, that's just glue.
It's glue. It's Elmer glue, dude. I'm a model builder.
It's tapioca pudding. I was eating.
And I had snack pack pudding. Tapioca. It was great. According to one female employee, she had weird men wait outside the store to talk to her almost daily, to the point where she has to have her mom and boyfriend wait outside when she closed up to avoid the confrontations. And similarly to that, another woman dealt with tons of weird attention from male customers because the manager exclusively hired attractive women to create what she described as a hot GameStop. Men would drive from far away to lurk around and talk to staff. The employee was eventually fired and was told that the manager was later taken away in an ambulance after having a violent meltdown where he, quote, declared himself as a high archangel.
Sounds kind of like the coffee thing.
Which, well, not only that, but it sounds like he's trying, like, is he a fucking cult leader at a GameStop? All my beautiful babies will play these games.
I am the archangel.
And there will be pre-orders and there will be pre-owned games sold and then new games sold and accessories, all at a perfect rate, a perfect call system for Archangel.
Do you think he had a pretty high Cole score then?
I would assume his Cole score was very high. I would hope so, at least. He's the Archangel. Speaking of women, it turns out that GameStop once created an entire training video that teaches male employees to converse with them, right? Because they might not have done that before. The video stimulates interactions between men and different types of female shoppers, teaching you how to avoid making a woman feel stupid by throwing out a bunch of gamer jargon at her.
Hi, welcome to GameStop. My name's Alex. How you doing?
As you can see, Our unfortunate associate has inadvertently triggered the flight response by his abrupt entrance into gamer jargon.
They don't know how to play, they're just here picking it up for their man. If you have to rub her back, calm her down. What if it was like that? Massage her shoulders. If she looks stressed, pick out a game for her. Pat her on the head and send her away.
Reach out and touch her arm.
Touch her arm and look her deep in the eyes. Not only is working there stressful and weird and creepy, we haven't even talked about the massive amount of GameStop robberies. GameStop is home to tons of products that are incredibly valuable and small in size, making them highly valued by thieves. Some of which, like newer next-gen consoles, have limited stock and can be resold online for insane prices. And it doesn't help that many stores are often run by just one employee at a time in an effort to cut cost and save money. And in 2023, around 30 GameStops in the US were robbed within a mere 3 months. Even as recently as this year, a group of burglars crashed their car into the GameStop in Chicago to steal games and equipment from the store. This was seemingly a part of a large-scale GameStop crime spree, with 4 GameStops being targeted for smash and grabs in just 1 month. Some burglars are not nearly as successful, like a man from Georgia that was caught trying to steal from a GameStop wearing a plastic bag over his head as a disguise. It's pretty awesome.
Is that water bottle bag?
I don't know what it is, but it's like, what the fuck? What are you doing, man? The St. Mary's Police Department Facebook page made a post requesting information from anyone that could identify the man. They wrote, and I quote, "You can help us catch him once you can stop laughing." He was eventually found and booked on 2 felony charges for criminal damage to property and burglary. In a particularly heartbreaking story, a GameStop smash and grab led to one immediate arrest after a young man's entire crew ditched him before he could jump into one of the 2 getaway vehicles. Peace. With all the chaos that surrounded GameStop's long history, you must be wondering, where does GameStop stand today? Because I know so many people that are watching this right now are probably thinking to themselves, oh my God, I haven't been to a GameStop in years. I haven't even thought about GameStop in years. I only think about GameStop on Black Friday, that kind of thing. I only think about GameStop when it's like a busy time of year, but even then I don't go. It's been forever since I've stepped foot in a store. I mean, GameStop's reputation has never been fully repaired, and they are surely no longer the retail titans they used to be. And after acquiring ThinkGeek, a retailer that focused on selling geek culture products, the store has slowly focused more and more on selling toys and collectibles like Pokemon cards and Funko Pops and all that bullshit. They even teamed up with PSA to start official card grading service. Why?
To undersell you?
To undersell you on fucking cards? Jesus Christ, bro. According to GameStop's recent earnings, GameStop's about to sell more collectible items than games. GameStop, collectible stop. Change the name. The biggest and most recent news to come out of the GameStop, however, is their decision to spend $500 million on 4,710 Bitcoins to be used as treasury reserve assets. There you go. This led to GameStop shares lowering by 10.9%, but the company states that there is a set ceiling on how much Bitcoin they will continue to purchase. We're gonna do it.
We're not there yet.
We're not there yet. When we get there, we'll stop. I mean, it's a fucking clown show. There's something nostalgic about walking into a video game retailer. Something that's becoming less and less possible as the years go on. You know what I mean? It's just like the brick and mortar store system is, albeit inconvenient, but it used to be a place where it was like just a place you could drive to. It was something that was tangible that you could walk into, and it was just like a place that would take your stress away, though. It was a place of excitement, you know what I mean? And I think that a lot of like independent stores have started to pop up and fill that void just because all these larger retailers that we grew up with or that have been around for a long time have slowly become, I mean, like the fucking worst. I don't think that they were ever really good, but you didn't have anything else. It's just like it's full ugly faces shown and it's horrible. So if you want to revisit that feeling, maybe find a small mom and pop shop in your area to shop at, you know, because there's so many people that aren't just scummy resellers and fucking parasites. There are people who legitimately love the culture of video games and will give you a fair price and, you know, all that other bullshit. Or, you know, you can just buy online. I don't really give a shit what you do. So.
Have you ever traded anything at the GameStop?
Yeah, dude. When you're young and dumb. Usually a lot of people that trade and stuff at GameStop, it's just people who, one, back in the day, you didn't know what you had. So you just be like, okay, well, I just want this new game anyways. And you're just frivolous with just being like, well, I've played these. I don't know. And you sell them back and you buy something new and you're like, oh, fuck, I wish I would have kept that. It's the same with like Magic cards. How many times I like traded in Magic cards or sold Magic cards where I'm like, oh man, I really wish I would have kept that.
Oh, yes.
It's just that it's a fucking horrible system. It's mostly, I think it preys on young people. That's what I think.
Young, dumb
people who are just like, whose attention spans can only be like, okay, I want to play that now. Okay, I want to play that now. It's that kind of vibe. GameStop sucks. What can I tell you? It's a horrible place. That's the end of the video.
Wait, no, we're going to GameStop, aren't we?
Bye.